And brought to you live via New York City, this is Bombers Game Mic. I'm Paul D, and this afternoon the St. Louis Cardinals are playing Game 2 of the 3-game weekend set up at Target Field against none other than the Minnesota Twins. I hope everybody had a wonderful Saturday morning. I can certainly tell you, for those who were watching last night, I haven't been to sleep since. But I am very happy, very pumped to be here this afternoon with everybody here. And so let me know, chime in, let me know where you're watching or listening from. We are good to go for this Saturday afternoon classic, where Matthew Liberatore, of course, is going for the St. Louis Cardinals against the somewhat underwhelming left-hander Connor Prelip for the Minnesota Twins. I hope everybody has had a wonderful Saturday so far. Last night, of course, was a rather disappointing game. I don't think any of us could put it any other way. For all that it's worth, for everything that has gone down in that, Ryan Stanek was, well, let's face it, he was awful last night. There's no two ways about it. That's the reality of it. But today is a new day, and a very important one. So the Cards obviously have Matthew Liberatore on the mound. And boy, if this team wants to stay in contention and really make a play here in the National League, they are going to need so much more from Matthew Liberatore, both quality of starts and length of starts. Him getting yanked constantly, towards the end of the fourth or somewhere in the fifth, for a guy that is supposedly supposed to be, ultimately, the two-starter or de facto two-starter in this rotation, it's kind of hard to accept. And as far as Connor Prelip is concerned, the man has an ERA of 5.15, having thrown, I think this is his 12th or 13th start of the year, and he has simply not been very good. However, there's some interesting little notes here that are of real importance in the Cardinal lineup. So, J.J. Weatherholt is not in this afternoon's starting lineup. I have not seen anything. That doesn't mean that it isn't there, that there is reason for it. My guess, based on that alone, is they are just giving him some time, taking it more conservatively, especially after, not this week, but the week before, where he missed a few days due to groin soreness, so I'm sure they're probably being very careful with him there. And I think everybody will also be rather pumped to see that Blaze Jordan is in the starting lineup again today at third. Now, here's the Cardinals starting lineup today with J.J. Weatherholt on the bench for this one, at least to start. Mason Wynn, the shortstop, is leading off, followed by Ivan Herrera at DH. Batting third out in right field is Jordan Walker. Batting cleanup out in left is Nelson Velasquez. Batting fifth at first base is Alec Burleson. Batting sixth at third base, the aforementioned Blaze Jordan. Batting seventh at second is Jose Fermin. What positions doesn't he play at this point? And of course, batting eighth at catcher is actually Pedro Pajes. This is his first start in a little while. Jimmy Crooks and Ivan Herrera have largely been splitting time for much of the last 10 days. And batting ninth out in center field, the left-hander, Nate Church. Now for the Twins, here's their starting lineup. Leading off out in right field is Martin. Batting second at DH is Byron Buxton. Had a huge night last night. Batting third out in left is Clemens. Batting fourth at first base is Royce Lewis. Batting fifth at third is Lee. Batting sixth at shortstop is Arcia. Batting seventh in center field is Cradler. Batting eighth at second base is Keyshaw. And batting ninth behind the dish is Jackson. Those are your starting lineups today. If you're just joining me here, welcome aboard, welcome back. Here we go. Let me know where you're watching or listening from. KCM, of course, has chimed in the leadoff spot. Bird fan, a.k.a. Ethan, is aboard. Dallas Cowboys fan for life, 740. Hey, Paul and everyone. Hey, Dallas Cowboy fan for life. So we are just a few minutes away here from first pitch. And if you haven't joined the Game Mike roll call, definitely do so. Let me know where you're watching or listening from as we get ready to go and get this thing underway up in Minnesota. And it seems like a very fine day up there in Minneapolis for a ball game. Far, far nicer than what they had to deal with last night with the rain delay and, just continuously and intermittently having to deal with that downpour. But that is the reality of things right now. Whatever the case is, it does seem to be a fine day for baseball. Hopefully we will not be interrupted by weather. And then the Cardinals can get down to business. And boy, it does feel good to be sitting in a comfortable chair at the moment. This much I cannot deny. So we're only a couple of minutes away here from first pitch as everybody begins filing in here this afternoon. As I mentioned, coming in for most of this week today and for a good deal of this upcoming week, this is going to be audio only as I am on the road. However, no missed time in that time. And that's totally cool with me because I got to tell you, right now the St. Louis Cardinals are definitely a lot of fun to be watching. I know they're in that short 3-game skid of theirs at the moment, but, 2-game skid. However, this team has shown absolute resiliency, has been remarkably impressive, and what more could we want from them here going forward? I think we're going to get what we expect of them in so many ways. Okay, we're just about a minute and a half away from first pitch. Charlie Acosta, good to hear ya. Paul, glad you made it safely. Sorry about the sleep deprivation, but we got Cardinal baseball. Loving it. Hey, Charlie, I wouldn't miss this for anything in the world. This is like the coolest gig you could ever hope to have. And it's definitely you and everybody that comes here day after day, game after game. It's fantastic. Up in Minnesota right now, 73 degrees and perfectly clear skies, 15-mile-per-hour winds. We'll see how that plays out. I did give the starting lineup, but once again, JJ Weatherholt is not in the starting lineup today. I didn't see anything about injury. Chances are it's just something of a precautionary rest day off after about a good week straight of playing after coming off of that sore groin. So Mason Wynn is leading off at short. Batting second at DH is Ivan Herrera. Batting third in right field is Jordan Walker. Batting cleanup out in left is Nelson Velasquez. Batting fifth at first base is Alec Burleson. Batting sixth at third base is Blaze Jordan. Batting seventh at second is Jose Fermin. He is just the all-purpose everyman. You can put him wherever you need to. Batting eighth at catcher is Pedro Pajes. First time we've seen him in a while, naturally. And batting ninth out in center field is the lefty hitting Nate Church. Mason Wynn is in the on-deck circle there at Target Field as we get ready to kick it off. DJ Nick Fly, good afternoon, Paul. Hope you had a good trip and got some rest. Checking in from Rogersville, Missouri. Wiring up some chicken coops today. Well, that sounds like a darn good day, DJ Nick Fly, and yeah, it was perfectly fine. Now, the lefty Connor Prelip is 2-4 with a 5.15 ERA, 18 walks against 49 strikeouts, and a whip of 1.33. He's predominantly slider, four-seam, curve, changeup, and sinker. But that 5.15 ERA is no joke. And right now, he is coming in against a very potent Cardinal lineup. No, DJ Dick Flay, I really appreciate it, and everybody who has wished me good travels. Clemens in left, Creedler in center, Martin in right, Lee at third, Arcia at short, K-Shaw at second, Lewis at first, Jackson behind the dish. And Prelip is on the mound for the Minnesota Twins. What's up, Paul? Thank you as always. Hey, Chuck Gaiman. What's going on? You're going on. The Cardinals are going on. And I'm doing my audio-only thing as promised. Like I said, it's going to be for most of this upcoming week. But I have no plans on missing an inning in terms of anything that I have the ability to control. So it's going to be everything but what you've come to expect on camera just watching me. The Cardinals are wearing their alternate road powder blue tops with St. Louis across the chest, red letters and numbers. It is the opposite one of the cream color one they wear with St. Louis across the chest when they're at home on a Saturday, and they are wearing their standard red ball caps with the interlocking white STL. And for the Minnesota Twins, they're wearing their cream colored jerseys and blue. It comes across the chest, Twin Cities. It's a cream top, cream bottom, and standard navy blue ball caps. Stepping into the box is Mason Wynn. It is a lefty-righty matchup with lefty Pralip on the mound. He deals. Foul down the first base side, now to play. The count is 0-1, and we are underway. Mason Wynn hitting .231, 2 home runs, 25 RBIs, a .627 OPS through 60 games this year. Coming set above the belt is Prelip, the 0-1. Up and away, and out of the zone, a four-seam fastball. The count goes to 1-1 strike. JoJo Spades, go Cards! Absolutely. It's a 1-1 count, lefty-righty matchup with the lefty Pralip on the mound. And here's the 1-1. Out and away, a changeup well out of the zone. Actually floats over the lefty batter's box. The count is 2-1 strike. On deck is Ivan Herrera. He is at DH today. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Out and away, a four-seam fastball well over the zone. Floats over the lefty batter's box. The count is now 3-1 strike. So Pralip is having a little trouble, at least initially, finding the plate here. Like I said, he is pitching to a 5.15 ERA this year. He comes set, the 3-1 to win. Upstairs, out of the zone, ball 4. And that will give Mason Wynn a leadoff walk. And the Cardinals have a runner on first with nobody out, top of the first inning. I hope everybody had a fantastic rest of their Friday night and Saturday morning. I am very happy to see you all here. It is always a pleasure. Mason Wynn is on first. Lefty-righty matchup with Ivan Herrera, who's hitting .265. Coming set is Pralip. He deals. Fly ball out there to left field. Going back. Looking up. And it is long gone. A 2-run home run for Ivan Herrera. And the Cardinals take a 2-0 lead on the very first pitch. Up and away to Ivan Herrera. He deposits it easily 450 feet into the upper deck and left. It was an utter moonshot. It was on the outer third about belt high, and Ivan Herrera does what Ivan Herrera does. And it is a 2-0 Cardinal lead. Oh boy, that thing went a long way. I'm not sure it's come down yet. Here's the first pitch to Walker. Hit on up the middle. Fielded there by the second baseman on a hop. He throws to first in time for the first out of the inning. However, after the 2-run shot there by Herrera to left, which went way into the upper deck and left at target field, which is a very long way from home plate, the Cardinals have a 2-0 lead. This is not a team a struggling starting pitcher wants to face right now by way of the Cardinals lineup. Here is the righty Velasquez. He's hitting cleanup. Swinger strike. 4-seam fastball down and away. Swung underneath of that one did Velasquez. And the count is 0-1 strike. So an early lead here for the Cardinals. Coming set is the lefty Pralip. Lefty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch. Swinging strike underneath a fastball. 97 miles per hour, swung underneath that thing. It came in middle in the strike zone. Little uncharacteristic for Nelson Velasquez, who is 8 for 23, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs through 9 games, a 10.52 OPS since being called up a little over a week and a half ago. Coming sets Prelip, the 0-2. Foul tipped on the four-seam fastball right down Broadway, and the count remains 0-2. That came in clocked at 97 miles an hour. Let's go, baby. Yeah, you know it, DJ Nick Fly. 2-0 Cardinals. So, nobody on, 1 out. It's an 0-2 count, lefty-righty matchup with the lefty Prelip. Here's the 0-2 to Velasquez. Just got a piece of the slider down and in, 89 miles an hour. The count is 0-2. Does he read the chat? Perhaps. I don't know who he is supposed to be, though. I must say, Ethan. Coming set is Prelip, the 0-2. It's called strike 3 on the outer third. A delayed call by the home plate umpire on the slider away for the second out of the inning. So Prelip manages to regain his composure despite the Twins now being in a 2-0 hole. Now here's Alec Burleson, the left-hander. It'll be a lefty-lefty matchup. He's hitting .290 on the year. Coming sets Prelip. He deals. Foul down the third base side. Now to play on the sinker up and in. The count is no balls, 1 strike. Alec Burleson, .290 with 12 home runs, 50 RBIs in 66 games, and 851 OPS. Nobody on with 2 out. It's an 0-1 count. Coming set is the lefty Prelip. Here's the pitch. Hit on out to the second base, fielded on the ground, throws to first in time for the third and final out of the inning. But not before Ivan Herrera puts on a big fly to left field and gives this Cardinal team a 2-0 lead. So after 1/2 inning of play, it is the St. Louis Cardinals 2 and the Minnesota Twins coming to bat. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mike. Coach Sterling, still early, but looks like it'll be an easy win. I hope so. Chuck, we need a great day from Libby. You absolutely spelled it out. Because as this team and roster is currently constructed, if they want to remain in contention in the National League over the remainder of this season, they're going to need more from Matty Liberatore than they have gotten certainly in the last month plus. And, as far as I'm concerned, McGreevy is the de facto ace, and then Liberatore kind of comes in right behind at the de facto number 2. It's a kind of a strange situation for the Cardinals, but they made it work. Hey, for life, good to see ya. Let's go Cards. 20 people like, 134 people watching. Hit that like button, everybody. For life is in the house. Thank you for joining me this afternoon, my friend. The Cardinals have a 2-0 lead. Once again, I'll give you the starting lineup for the Minnesota Twins. Leading off is the right fielder, Martin. Batting second at DH is Byron Buxton. Batting third out in left field is Clemens. Batting fourth at first base is Royce Lewis. Batting fifth at third base is Lee. Batting sixth at shortstop is Arcia. Batting seventh in center field is Creedler. Batting eighth at second is Keishal. And batting ninth behind the dish is Jackson. Now here's Matty Liberatore. He's 3-3 with a 4.48 ERA. 26 walks against 61 strikeouts. Four-seamer, slider, curve, changeup, sinker, cutter, split finger. The whole menu from Matty Liberatore. Here's the first pitch. Just missed away to the leadoff hitter. Martin is a right-handed hitter. And the count is 1-0. That makes it a lefty-righty matchup. Coming step from the full wide. Liberatore deals. Head out there to right field. Given chase in the corner. Underneath it is Walker. He makes the catch for the first out of the inning. So a couple of pitches and a fly out to right for Matty Liberatore. A fine start to this outing this afternoon for him. And I must say, the Cardinals in their powder blue tops with the St. Louis across the chest with the birds in the bat. Their alternate road Saturday jersey is very fresh, along with the red ball caps. Coming wide, here's the first pitch to Buxton. An Uncle Charlie strike. Outer third at the knees to the righty Buxton, who's hitting .266 on the year with 21 home runs, 33 RBIs through 59 games, and .913. Here's the 0-1. Swinging strike on the four-seam fastball up and in. Swung underneath that one, did Buxton, and the count is now no balls and 2 strikes. Goldie us 47. Let's go Cards. Sure hope Gorman can get right in the minors. Absolutely, Goldie. Absolutely. Coming set. Liberatore deals upstairs. Four-seam fastball out of the zone. The count is, it should be 1-2. Coming set is Liberatore. He deals. Swinging strike 3. Down and away. And that will be the second out of the inning. Yes, indeed. That was all correct. So that's the second out. And now here comes Cody Clemens, who had a very fine night last night in that comeback victory. No doubt. Heather Friend, let's go Cardinals. Cheers. Here's the first pitch from Liberatore. Hit to the right side. Fielded on the ground there by Alec Burleson. Takes it to the bag himself for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks. Nobody left on after one full inning of play up at Target Field here in Game 2 of 3. It is the St. Louis Cardinals 2 and the Minnesota Twins nothing. We head to the top of the second inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. 2-0 Cardinals. So how has everybody been enjoying their Saturday so far? I saw up there from DJ Nick Fly, he's getting ready to put up some chicken coop fencing, and that's a very productive and fun way to spend any afternoon. How about the rest of you? Chime in to the chat. Join the Game Mic roll call. Let me know where you're watching or listening from. Even if you're a first-timer joining the chat and you've been here before, would love to make your acquaintance. And we await the top of the second inning. Due up for the Cardinals will be Blaze Jordan, followed by Jose Fermin, who is at second. J.J. Weatherholt is not starting this game. I believe he's just getting a day's rest. I haven't seen anything about injury, and that would make sense, coming off that sore groin and not missing a game in a week now. Followed by the catcher, Pedro Pajes. Indeed, he's still on the team, despite the fact Jimmy Crooks and Ivan Herrera have largely been splitting duties since Jimmy Crooks came up. And we are almost ready for the top of the second inning. Prelip, the lefty for the Twins, did not exactly have the most productive top of the first inning. Hey, it's Thurman. Good evening, Paul / everyone. Can you promise us a better outcome tonight? Thurman, there is nothing I'd rather do if it were in my power, but I sure hope I can call one. Hey, it's Max. Hey, Paul. Hey, Max. Good to see you. Welcome back. It's a 2-0 Cardinal lead. In the box is Jordan. He's out to right field, going back in front of the wall, looking up, and it is off the base of the wall, and it comes carrying off. Coming around second is Blaze Jordan. He's heading down to third. Here's the throw, and he is in with a sliding lead-off double here in the top of the third inning. Blaze Jordan is just setting the world on fire, folks. Oh, my goodness. He got that first pitch away from Prelip. It was on the outer third, about thigh high. Right fielder went all the way back up against the wall, leaped for it, out of his reach, hit the base of the wall, caromed about 10 feet from it, and Blaze Jordan hustled in there for a leadoff sliding double. So a runner on third with nobody out. Here's the pitch to Fermin. A slider strike, and the count is no balls, 1 strike to Jose Fermin, who's hitting .270. Lefty-righty matchup. Blaze Jordan is at third. Here's the 0-1 to Fermin. A four-seam fastball away, clear out of the zone and over the lefty batter's box. The count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Cobra, pun intended? Maybe. Jose Fermin, .272 home runs, 12 RBIs through 38 games in utility duty. Where doesn't he play? Here's the 1-1. There's a fly ball down the third base side in foul territory. Underneath it is the third baseman. He makes the catch for the first out of the inning. So Jose Fermin fouls out just to the left of third in foul territory for the first out of the inning. And stepping into the box is Pedro Pages. In 39 games, he's hitting .212. Runner on third. Infield defense in for the Twins. Here's the first pitch to Pages. A ball, ruled a ball, challenged immediately by the catcher. So we have our first ABS challenge of the afternoon. Let's see what happened. And it's overturned, and it is a strike. And the second I saw him challenge him, I knew that he was going to get it overturned. It was a bad call by the home plate umpire, simply put. It might be another one of those days like last night, as far as ABS goes. Common sense pre-lip, lefty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch. Hit to the right side, down the line, and it's into right field and in the corner for a base hit. Scoring easily is Jordan from third. Heading into second is Pages, and that will give the Cardinals a 3-0 lead on the RBI double from Pedro Pages. Oh, he just stuck his bat out there. Pre-lip was a four-seam fastball up and away, and Pages knew exactly what to do with it. Oh, that was a very fine piece of professional hitting there from the effectively now backup catcher. And so it's now a 3-0 Cardinal lead with a runner on second with one out in the top of the second inning. This Cardinal lineup is jumping all over the struggling pre-lip. Now here's Nate Church, the left-hander. It'll be a lefty-lefty matchup. Nate Church hitting .250 at the moment. Runner on second with one out following the RBI double by Pages. Coming set is pre-lip. Here's the first pitch to Church. Called a ball, a sinker down in the zone, and the count is 1-0. So they are getting off fast. 255 home runs, 18 RBIs for Nate Church. Coming set is pre-lip. Lefty-lefty matchup. He deals. Hit on up the middle. And right there by the second baseman, deep at second. He throws to first. Not in time. And that'll put runners on first and third with one out. An infield single by Nate Church. And now back to the top of the lineup with the righty hitting shortstop from St. Louis, Mason Wynn. He's 0 for 1. And as I mentioned a few times here so far, J.J. Weatherall is not in today's starting lineup. I think it's just a day of rest, especially with the injury he had to deal with over a week ago and not missing any time since then. Here's the first pitch to Wynn. A changeup down and away and over the lefty batter's box. The count is 1-0. Mason Wynn today. 231, 2 home runs, 25 RBIs, 630 OPS. It's a lefty-righty matchup with runners on first and third with one out. It's a 1-0 count. Coming set pre-lip, the 1-0. There's a fly ball out there to deep center field. Underneath it is the center fielder. Tagging from third is the runner. He comes home. He will score, and that will make it a 4-0 Cardinal lead on the sacrifice fly and RBI by Mason Wynn. And that will make it a 4-0 Cardinal lead. A very fine job there by Mason Wynn. A little bit of that ABC baseball. Got Pages home from third on the sac fly to center. Runner on first with two out. Now here's Ivan Herrera, who's 1 for 1. Runner on with two out. Here's the pitch. A slider swung on in strike. Down and in. And the count is no balls, one strike. So it's already a 4-0 Cardinal lead here this afternoon. The lefty pre-lip has not been good. This next pitch will be his 26th on the afternoon. Coming sets pre-lip. He deals. Called a strike. Slider on the inner third at the knees to the righty Herrera. And the count is no balls, 2 strikes. And update that to 2 outs. Oh, well, I appreciate that, Max. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Back in the box is Herrera. Runner on first with 2 outs, no 2 count. Here's the pitch. And it hits Herrera on the back leg, so he will be awarded first base. And boy, what is it about beating Ivan Herrera? You know, he did it on a slider. It wasn't exactly like a four-seam fastball up around the chin. But all told, he has had a pretty good afternoon. A 2-run shot to give the Cardinals a 2-0 lead in the top of the first. And he reached base on the top of the second, albeit by a hit by pitch. But he is awfully tough, and boy is he clutch. Runners on first and second with 2 out. Into the box is Jordan Walker. Here's the first pitch. Just inside a four-seam fastball for a ball, clacked at 98 miles an hour. The count is 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, exactly, Chuck. Yeah, without a doubt. Coming set is Prelip. The 1-0. Swinging strike on the slider, down and in. Swung over to the top of that did Jordan Walker. And the count is 1-1. Runners on first and second with 2 out. 2 already in here in the top of the second inning for the Cardinals. They have a 4-0 lead. Coming set is the lefty Prelip, lefty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch. Swinging strike. Ball gets away there from the catcher. Neither of the runners advance. He managed to keep it in front of him. However, that brings the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jordan Walker is second in baseball right now with RBIs at 55, right behind Andy Pages. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Jordan Walker. I almost have to make that a soundbite at this point. I feel like I say it 6 or 7 times a game. Coming set, it's a 1-2 count. Prelip deals. In the dirt, a slider clear out of the zone, and the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. He gets hit a lot, and that one was obviously unintentional, no doubt. No doubt. Are you guys tired from the flight? Yes, John, most definitely. But I'm happy to be here. Wouldn't miss it for the world. Coming sets Prelip. He deals. Head on out there to right center field. Going back is the center fielder in front of the track, and he hauls it in for the third and final out of the inning. However, the Cardinals, they put up 2 more after 1.5 innings of play. It is the St. Louis Cardinals 4 and the Minnesota Twins nothing. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Joe Breeding is in the house. What's up, Brother Paul? Not much. What's up with you, Brother Joe? I get the feeling we're going to start calling each other brother then first name from here on out. Just call it a hunch, Joe. I like the feeling of it. It's cool. Justin Beasley's in the house. Like number 32. Good afternoon, Chuck. Good afternoon, Paul. Good afternoon, Justin Beasley. It's always good to see your shining face here. At least that's always the way I imagine it. So we head to the bottom of the second inning. It's a 4-0 Cardinal lead. The Cardinals have been all over Prelip, who has definitely been struggling of late. And right now, the Cardinals are clearly trying to put behind them that very disappointing home run last night. And boy, if there wasn't a better punch ticket down to AAA than what Ryan Stanek did last night, my goodness. Hi, Paul. I have showed up. Oh, I know, Ethan. I thought I said hello to you earlier. It's good to see you. I hope you're well today. Do you have any games you need to umpire on your schedule? So we await the beginning of the bottom of the second. Due up for the Twins is going to be Royce Lewis, the first baseman, followed by Lee, the third baseman, and the shortstop, Arcia. Not till next week. I always enjoy doing that. White Shadow is in the house. What up, Cardinal Nation? Hope all is well, Paulie D. Let's go Cards. White Shadow has entered the chat. Eric Boyce. Hey, Bomber. Hey, Eric Boyce. Stepping into the box. Back on the bump is Matthew Liberatore. He got them down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first inning. Let's see how he does from here. It's a lefty-righty matchup. Here's the first pitch. Hit to the left side and foul to the righty Royce Lewis on the slider, and the count is no balls, 1 strike. How's the trip going? Honestly, Ethan, very well. Everything was on time. Everything ran smoothly. TSA at Lambert's great. Here's the 0-1. And Uncle Charlie up and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Justin Beasley, 647 subs, 53 away from 700. It's more amazing than I can imagine. Here's the 1-1 to Lewis. Called a strike. Curveball on the inner third at the knees to the righty Lewis, and the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Absolutely love to see Velasquez in there at left field. Yeah, against the lefty is a great platoon option. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Hit down the left field line, going back, looking up, and it is... What is it, folks? It is a foul ball, and just foul at that. Matthew Liberatore got very fortunate on that. Did everybody remember to like? I hope so, Thurman. I hope so. Number 31 for me. Yeah. Flex that bicep right there, Joe Breeding. It's wonderful to see you all. It looks like this is under review to see if it actually stayed fair. So at the moment, they've initially ruled it a foul ball, but looks like they may very well be reviewing it. The play is now officially under review, so stand by for the results of that. I have not yet seen a replay to be able to give you a more definite description of exactly what happened here. And the play is confirmed, and it is ruled a foul ball. So Matty Liberatore lucks out twice on that one. And there's nobody on with nobody out, and a 1-2 count to the righty Royce Lewis, batting 198. Lefty-righty matchup. Back onto the bump is Liberatore. He's to the extreme third base side of the rubber. He winds the 1-2. A splitter down and away out of the zone. The count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lucky? To some degree, Joe. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, but you can never beat lucky and good. Here's the 2-2. Called strike 3 and the curveball down and in. Challenge immediately there by Lewis. So I'm going to wait before I play any sound effects to get that ABS challenge confirmation. And the call is overturned, and it's called a ball, and it missed by a lot, folks. A whole lot. Easily by 7 inches or so. I was shocked when he called it. So it's a 3-2 count here. Back into the box is Lewis. On the bump is Liberatore. And they're having a nice in-game interview with the Cardinals pitching coach. Here's a 3-2. Hit on out there to left center field. Charging over into the gap. And it goes near to the wall. Picked up there by Velasquez out there in front of the track. He throws it back in. And he has himself a stand-up leadoff double for the Twins here in the bottom of the second inning. So Royce Lewis managing to get the Twins started off here the right way. It looked like perhaps it was a sinker down and away, but it just stayed up enough for him to put the bat on, split the outfielders. Velasquez managed to keep it from going all the way to the wall. Runner on second with nobody out. Lefty-righty matchup with the righty Lee. Here's the pitch. Fouled straight back on the four-seam fastball, up and in, 95 miles an hour. And the count is no balls, 1 strike. Same or different home plate. Different home plate umpires. So last night's third base umpire. They rotate in the same direction of the runner. Come and set it is Liberatore. Here's the 0-1. Just missed a changeup down and away out of the zone. The count is 1-1. For life. Come on, Cardinals. You know it. Let's snap this 2-game skid. Come and set at the Birds is Liberatore with the runner on second. Nobody out. Bottom of the second, 4-0 Cardinals. Here's the 1-1. Curveball down and in the dirt. Clear out of the zone. 81 miles an hour. Count is 2-1. Lee gets back into the box. And Liberatore comes set at the stretch. He sets at the Birds. Here's the 2-1. Hit on up the middle. Fielded on a hop there by Liberatore. He looks the runner back to second. Throws to first in time for the first out of the inning. A very fine play there by Matthew Liberatore on defense. He gets it on a hop off the bat. He stares down the runner at second to make sure he isn't going anywhere, turns to first, makes a good, strong, and accurate throw to Alec Burleson to get the runner for the first out of the inning. Now, here's the righty, Orlando Arcia, the shortstop, hitting .283 with 1 home run, 2 RBIs. Runner on second with 1 out. Here's the pitch. Uncle Charlie strike, inside corner at the knees, and the count is no balls, 1 strike. Matty Liberatore's from the stretch. He sets at the Birds, a lefty-righty matchup. The 0-1. Fouled back and out of play. A four-seam fastball up and in, 95 miles an hour. And the count is no balls, 2 strikes. How many hours of sleep, Paul D? You must be bushwhacked. A whopping 0, Justin Beasley. None whatsoever. It wasn't happening. Coming sets Liberatore, the 0-2. Up and away, a four-seam fastball, 95 miles per hour, well out of the zone. And the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Thank you for calling the game today. Justin, there's nothing else I'd rather be doing. Coming set is Liberatore, the 1-2 pitch. Hit to the left side, fielded on a hop there by the third baseman, throws to first in time. And Royce Lewis moves to third on the play. So Blaze Jordan showing off some of his defensive prowess there. He charged in to get the ball off the bat on a couple of hops in on the grass. Pulled it in, got a handle on it, threw to first with a good, accurate throw to Burleson for the second out of the inning. Now here's the righty, Creedler, hitting .226, 3 home runs, 11 RBIs. He's in center field, 750 OPS. Here's the first pitch. Strike, four-seam fastball right down Broadway, and the count is no balls, 1 strike. So there's a runner on third with 2 out, bottom of the second inning. 4-0 Cardinals. Matty Liberatore has thrown 24 pitches so far. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Changeup down and way out of the zone. The count is 1-1. You're crazy for that, Paul. Maybe just a little, Justin. Maybe just a little. Go Minnesota. Hey, we got a Twins fan. The 1-1. Swinging strike on the changeup away. Swung underneath that one, did Creedler. And the count is 1-2. Gino, I can't even make a damn store run without missing a blow-up inning. No kidding. I know it, Gino. I know. I've been in that position many times. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Chop foul down the third base side and out of play on the Uncle Charlie up and in. The count is 1-2. He's living off the energy drinks and grit. Well, amazingly, Joe Breeding, right now, I haven't had a Red Bull since last night. I just, I even have my limits. No, this is just grit and, just general stubbornness. Coming sets Liberatore. Here's the 1-2. Upstairs, four-seam fastball well out of the zone at 96 miles an hour. The count is 2-2. There's a runner on third with 2 out. Bottom of the second inning, it is 4-0 Cardinals. The righty Creedler's hitting .226 on the year. It's a lefty-righty matchup. Coming set at the Birds is Liberatore. He deals. Swinging strike 3. Down goes Creedler for the third and final out of the inning. So, no runs, 1 hit, no walks, 1 left on. After 2 full innings of play, it is the St. Louis Cardinals 4 and the Minnesota Twins nothing. We head to the top of the third inning. I'm Paul D, and if you're enjoying my call of Redbird action here on Game Mike, by all means, please leave the channel a like. I appreciate it deeply, and the growing channel benefits from it immensely. It's a very small gesture that does a world of good for the channel. Do you want to see more? Well, we'd all love to have you in our cast of characters. We have a community of Cardinal fans and baseball fans more generally, growing by every single game, and we would love to have you aboard. With that said, me here, you there, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Hey, the Fire Phoenix. Get 'em, Libby. You know it, my friend. You know it. I'm currently debating on another YouTube channel who is the greatest overall catcher of all time. Oh, you are now? Do tell us more, Fire Phoenix. That was ugly, bad loss last night. Yeah, that was hard to watch, admittedly. Patrick Cochran, thank you so much, Paul. Hope you can get a nap after the game. Patrick, if I have my way about it, I will, I will hit the pillow for a good 10 hours or so. But if I go to bed too early, I'll be up at 4:30 in the morning, and I'm not any more eager to do that on Sunday morning than I was on Saturday morning. So Ramon Urias was transferred to the 60-day IL, right and left elbow issue. And Ryan Fernandez, the right-handed pitcher, 15 days on the shelf with lower back pain. And once again, Weatherhull is not in the lineup. First pitch to Velasquez from Prelip. A ball floats over the lefty batter's box. Count is 1-0. It's a lefty-righty matchup with the righty Velasquez in the box against the lefty Prelip. Prelip deals. A sinker just missed away, 94 miles an hour. The count is 2 balls, no strikes. One moment, Ethan. I'll respond to you shortly. Coming set is Prelip. He deals. Called strike 3 on the slider. Correction. Called strike 1 on the slider. Forgive me, folks. I am doing it off of grit now. Coming set, the 2-1 pitch. Hit on out there in the left center field and in for a base hit. Picking it up as the center fielder tossing it back in. Nelson Velasquez has himself a leadoff single to start off the top of the third inning. A wonderful piece of hitting there. It looked like he left a slider up and out over the plate for Nelson Velasquez. And as we have learned, he does not miss mistakes in the strike zone. So a runner on first with nobody out. Now here's Alec Burleson. He's 0 for 1. It's a lefty-lefty matchup. Here's the first pitch to Burleson. Chop foul down the first baseline, out of play. The count is 0-1. I was thinking about this when I was trying to sleep. I was trying to figure out which Cardinal pitcher was the last one to win a Gold Glove. Do you know, Paul? Honestly, not offhand. I'm kind of embarrassed to say it. Coming set is Prelip, the 0-1. A curveball well away and over the righty batter's box. The count is 1-1. Back into the box is Burleson. It's a lefty-lefty matchup. Here's the pitch. Hit to the right side. Fielded there by the first baseman. He throws down to second one to get the force, and that's all he's getting. So the Twins managed to get the lead runner for the first out, and Burleson reaches first on the fielder's choice. Now here comes Blaze Jordan for his second at-bat. He is 1 for 1. He looks very locked in at the moment. It's a lefty-righty matchup with a runner on first with 1 out. Coming set's Prelip. He deals. A slider down and in the dirt, nowhere near the zone. The count is 1-0. Back into the box is Blaze Jordan. What a name for a ball player, man. Coming set is Prelip with a runner on first with 1 out. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Chopped down third base, fielded there by short. He throws to second one, on to first. A double play, and that will end the inning. So, the Cardinals, unfortunately, for the first time this afternoon, go down in order. After 2.5 innings of play, it is the St. Louis Cardinals 4 and the Minnesota Twins nothing. We head to the bottom of the third inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. All right, Fire Phoenix. Well, people basically have their own opinion, which I respect, but my opinion is Yadier Molina overall. Yadi is definitely the best defensive catcher of all time for sure. You can make an extremely strong case for Yadi because he would have been a great defensive. His skill set would have translated, I believe, defensively to almost any era of baseball, which is actually an interesting thing to consider. Justin, that is an amazing trivia question because I have no idea who this guy even is. For life, let's go Cards, let's go Cards, yeah. Roger Baseman. Tucson, Arizona's in the house. Frosh? What? BB Sticks. Bro, do you do every St. Louis game? At this point, I'm calling almost every one. And if I'm not, I make it very, very clear ahead of time. But right now, my calendar, there's nothing standing in the way of it. So at this point, certainly for the foreseeable future, Sticks, it's every one of them. So you can always find them here on Game Mike. All right, we are heading to the bottom of the third inning. Out for his third frame of work is Matthew Liberatore. He hasn't been too bad through his first two frames. 4-0 Cardinals, bottom of the third, and here come the Twins. Evan Paladadios. Here's the first pitch. Called a strike. Four-seam fastball outside corner to the righty hitting K-Shaw. And the count is no balls, one strike. Matthew Liberatore, he's from the full wide. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Hit on out there into foul territory. Just past first. Underneath it is Burleson. He makes the catch on the running track there, right next to the stands. And that is the first out of the inning, not to be confused with the warning track, of course. I went back a couple of months and found out that the games before the Athletics series, you did Yankee game broadcasts. Why'd you switch? For a lot of different reasons, Ethan, and I'd be happy to expound on that in a bit. Now, here's the righty Jackson, the 9-hitter. He's hitting .296. It's a lefty-righty matchup from the full winds. Liberatore, he deals. Uncle Charlie strike, outer third thigh high, and the count is no balls, one strike. Alex Jackson hitting .296, no home runs, 1 RBIs in 10 games, .655 OPS. Here's the 0-1 pitch. A changeup away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. I'm gonna need to allow myself a little bit more time to give you the proper explanation, Ethan. So I apologize if I have to delay it to between innings here. Here's the 1-1 from Liberatore. Fouled straight back in the four-seam fastball up and away, 95 miles an hour. And the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody on with 1 out. It's the bottom of the third inning. 4-0 Cardinals. 2 in the first, 2 in the second. They are trying to put last night behind them. Liberatore waits for the sign from Pajes. Here's the 1-2 pitch. A slider away, well out of the zone. Floats over the lefty batter's box. And the count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Liberatore has his sign from Pajes. The 2-2 pitch. Fouled straight back in the four-seam fastball away, about thigh high, 96 miles an hour. Once again, it is a lefty-righty matchup with Matty Liberatore on the mound. Well, I'd like to thank you all so much for coming back and joining me on Party Year Saturday. It is always wonderful to have you here. Coming wide is Liberatore. He deals. Fouled down the first base side on the slider up 89 miles an hour. The count remains 2-2. Alan, how am I doing? I'm hanging in there, Alan, and I'm very happy to be here. Nobody on, 1 out, bottom of the third inning. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Jackson. He steps back into the box, lefty-righty matchup. From the full wind is Liberatore. The pitch. Foul tipped on the changeup away, rolls over to the Twins on deck circle. The count remains 2-2. Justin Beasley, 259 viewers. Please like the stream. Oh, Justin Beasley doing Justin Beasley things. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3. Down goes Jackson for the second out of the inning. So, Matty Liberatore has gotten the first 2 up here. Now he's heading back to the top of the order. He has certainly had much greater command here early on today. Now here's the righty Martin, the leadoff hitter. He's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. Changeup down and in the dirt. The count is 1-0. Whistle time indeed. Nobody on, 2 outs, a 1-0 count. Common wind is Libby. He deals. Uncle Charlie strike, inner third below the belt. And the count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Matthew Liberatore is from the full wind. He deals. Hit to the right side and stabbed on a line there by Farameen at second for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks. Nobody left on. After 3 full innings of play, it is the Cardinals 4 and the Twins nothing. We're heading to the top of the 4th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Now, something I have to apologize for, guys. Having not slept last night and given my voice the appropriate time and ability to heal, I'm obviously going to keep interacting with the chat, no question. But you will have to forgive me if at certain points I will hold back just to keep, enough in the chamber to be able to call this game for you properly. So don't think I'm forgetting you, because I'm definitely not. Alrighty. Let's see here. Uncommon Truth Shaman. Paul D equals legend. Well, thank you so much, Uncommon Truth Shaman. That's another incredible YouTube handle. I love that stuff. Whistle time indeed, Justin. DJ Nick Floss, see ya. The Fire Phoenix. I think Libby will get about 7 strikeouts for the day. That wouldn't be too bad. Charles Owen, living in Albuquerque. It is hard to hear anything regarding the Cards. Thank you, Paul. I also appreciate your extensive expertise regarding baseball. Your broadcast is a double win for me. Charles, that means the world to me. It really does. I absolutely look to do that every time. And look at that. Somebody has changed their YouTube handle to Paul D is the GOAT. That, I don't think I ever expected to see that. I'm taking a picture of that real quick. Excuse me. So I can prove it to Mrs. Game Mike later that it actually happened. Yep. And there's a second one. Now, here's the first pitch to what appears to be, looks like, Farameen, and the count is a strike, and the count is 0-1 to Jose Farameen. Nobody on, nobody out, top of the 4th. Here's the pitch. A ball up and away, 4-seam fastball, and the count is 1-1. That was Prelip's 43rd pitch of the day. Jose Farameen, 267 with 2 home runs, 12 RBIs through 38 games. He has been invaluable to the Cardinals. Here's the 1-1 pitch. A curveball strike on the inner third, about thigh high, to the righty hitting Farameen. It's a lefty-righty matchup. Well, thank you so much, Heavenly Weed. You're very kind. The 1-2. Hit down the third base side and out of play on the slider in 87 miles an hour. I do my best. Paul D is the GOAT. Woohoo! You guys are amazing. Thank you all so much. You're not just good to me, you're good to each other. You're not nice, you're kind, and there's definitely a difference. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Well up and away, a 4-seam fastball well out of the zone. The count comes even 2-2 to Farameen. No, there's definitely a big difference between nice and kind. And you all are very kind, not just to me, but to each other. And, with the guy whose channel it is, it makes me proud. Here's the 2-2, hit to the left side, and stabbed on a line for the first out of the inning by the third baseman. And that is the first out of the inning. So here, Jose Farameen lines out to third. And he is the first out of the inning. Now, here comes Pedro Pajes. You haven't heard his name much lately. A rare start for him since Jimmy Crooks came up, and he's been doing the part-time duty between Herrera and Crooks. Now, here's the first pitch to Pajes. 4-seam fastball down and away for a ball. The count is 1 ball, no strikes. Lefty-righty matchup, 218, 4 home runs, 10 RBIs. He's 1 for 1 with an RBI double and a run scored. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Curveball strike, outer third at the knees. And the count is 1-1 to Pedro Pajes. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Pajes. Robert outs Paulie. Paulie needs about 5 Budweisers and he can be a younger Mike Shannon. Here's the 1-1. Swinging strike. Four-seam fastball down and in 97 miles an hour. The count is 1-2 to Pages. You know, that and the respectable major league career. Mike Shannon, you know, he's one of the guys that I always love listening to. He was absolutely amazing. Chop foul on the curveball down and in. Pages gets a piece of it. The count remains 1-2. He's one of those guys that he's irreplaceable. You can succeed him, but you can never replace him. Coming sets Prelup, the 1-2. Hit down the third base side. Now to play on the curveball up and in. 83 miles an hour. The count is 1-2. 650 subscribers. Absolutely amazing. Thank you all so much. I feel like I'm saying that every other day, but it's just how it's been. And I couldn't be more lucky. Coming sets the lefty Prelups. He deals. A four-seam fastball up and away, 97 miles an hour. And the count is 2-2 to Pedro Pages. Lefty-righty matchup. So what are you doing on the trip? Is it vacation? Where'd you go? I'll tell you in a moment, Ethan. On deck is Nate Church. Here's the pitch. Just gets a piece of that slider down and away. Fouls it back. The count remains 2-2. So it's predominantly a business trip. It's not a vacation, though we'll definitely get some pleasure in there. And we are in New York City, specifically Brooklyn at the moment. Here's a 2-2. Foul down the first base side and out of play on the slider down and in 89 miles an hour. And we get to do 2-2 all over again. That's why we are going to do everything we can to make your podcast go, Paul. You're cool. Well, so are you, Fire Phoenix. Here's the 2-2 to Pages. Fouled back behind the plate on the four-seam fastball away. The count remains 2-2. Jojo Spade's been listening to Cards baseball since 1962. I enjoy Paulie way more than anyone, including Buck, Harry, or Mike. So entertaining. Jojo, I don't even belong in the same category as these guys. Here's the pitch. Fouled back off the bat of Pages. The slider down the way. And boy, he is putting together a long at-bat here against Prelup. That was Prelup's 57th pitch in three and a third inning of work. Lefty-righty matchup with nobody on and one out. Coming set is the lefty Prelup. Here's the 2-2. Hit on up the middle and into center field for a one-out base hit. So Pedro Pages is on base for his second time today. He led off his day with a double. So he has a double and a single, which just puts him a triple and a home run away from the cycle. That triple may be a little hard for him, but it's not impossible. Now here's Nate Church, lefty-lefty matchup, runner on first with one out. Here's the pitch. A sinker away out of the zone. Count is 1-0. Nate Church is 1-for-1 with a single. 255, 5 home runs, 18 RBIs in 49 games. Leading off first is Pages. Coming set is Prelup, the 1-0. Foul down the third base side. And out of play on the slider low. And the count is 1-1. RDR Nick C. Listening in my truck. I'm glad I can keep it company in your truck this afternoon, man. Coming sets Prelup, the 1-1. A slider misses in and off the plate, and the count is 2 balls, 1 strike. Runner on first with one out. Coming sets the lefty Prelup, lefty-lefty matchup, the 2-1. Strike, sinker, outside corner, thigh high, and that brings the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. For life, 83 people like, 207 people watching. Hit that like button, everybody. For life, continuing in the vanguard. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Hit to the left side, fielded there by the third baseman. Throws the second one on to first, not nearly in time. So they'll get the lead runner, Pages, for the second out. And Nate Church will reach first on the fielder's choice. And that'll put the runner on first with 2 out in the top of the 4th inning. It is 4-0 Cardinals, following a pair of 2 spots in the first and second innings, respectively. Now here's Mason Wynn for his third at-bat. A walk, a sac fly, and a run scored. Lefty-righty matchup. Runner on first with 2 out. Coming set is the lefty Prelip. Here's the first pitch to Win. Four-seam fastball strike. 97 miles an hour, and the count is 0-1. Back into the box is Mason Wynn. Coming set is Prelip. He deals. A slider strike. Outside corner below the belt. And the count is no balls and 2 strikes to Mason Wynn. And boy, Mason Wynn has been doing a little bit of everything over this recent successful stretch. Really fantastic player. A big clubhouse leader. Coming sets Prelip. He deals. A curveball in the dirt, clear out of the zone. The count is 1-2. Dwayne Smith. Most announcers I literally silence. They are so annoying when watching. Brother Paul sounds great. On the radio, doing housework while listening to the Cardinals. Bomber Nation. Best since Harry and Jack. God, that is... wow. Throws over to first. Back in time is Nate Church. He was taking less than a 0 lead. It was a small Texas 2-step to his left. I mean, those comparisons, all I can say is I'm just deeply complimented. Coming sets Prelip, the 1-2. A slider down and away, clear out of the zone, and the count's even at 2-2 to Mason Wynn. That was the 67th pitch by Prelip in 3 2/3 innings of work. Leading off first is Nate Church with 2 out, top of the 4th. 4-0 Cardinals. Coming set Prelip, the 2-2. Hit out there to center field. Heading a few steps over to his right is the center fielder. He makes the catch for the 3rd and final out of the inning. So, no runs, 1 hit, no walks, 1 left on. After 3.5 innings of play, it is the St. Louis Cardinals 4 and the Minnesota Twins 0. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. I'm Paul D, and if you are enjoying my call of Redbird action here on Game Mike, please do leave a like. It helps the channel out more than you can know, and I very much appreciate it. And if you want to join our amazing cast of characters, our growing community of not just Cardinal fans, but baseball fans who come back each and every game, we'd love to have you. There's nothing wrong here with another amazing addition to this incredible cast of characters. That said, me here, you there. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. 4-0 Cardinals. Funniest line this week. He hit that all the way to the chop shops across the street. You know, it's funny. All those chop shops actually are getting bulldozed because that's where the casino is being built by Stevie Cohen. So he bought the Cardinals. He's the wealthiest owner in baseball. He's been resolved to spend throughout his entire time here after purchasing it from the Wilpons. It hasn't exactly worked out for him, even though he has now a higher payroll for the Mets than the Yankees do. The Yankees don't have the highest payroll in baseball, not even the same highest payroll in that city. But what is for sure is that those chop shops across the street are being replaced by a new casino. I was just looking at it earlier today, passing by. So he makes a lot of money on the Mets for sure, but he's going to be making serious bank forever on that casino. Stevie Cohen is kind of like Mr. Burns in a lot of ways. In so many ways. I hate to say it, but it's true. But yeah, that's the story there, folks. All right, we head out to the bottom of the 4th. Here's the first pitch. Hit out there to center field. Going back is Church. He's looking up at the wall, and it is gone. A solo home run for Byron Buxton, leading off in the bottom of the 4th. And that will give the Twins now behind 4-1. So the Cards have a 4-1 lead on the solo home run by Buxton. He did the exact same thing last night to center field. That one, however, was a bit more towards right center. That one was clear towards left center. But more or less, he just did the same thing for 2 games in a row. Byron Buxton is an incredible player. It is amazing that they chose not to sell him off at the deadline last year. Now, here's the first pitch to the lefty Clemens. A slider strike, inside corner thigh high, and the count is 0-1. So it is now a 4-1 Cardinal lead. Matthew Liberatore is out for his 4th frame. 245 with 10 home runs is Clemens. Foul tipped on the sinker down and in, and the count is 0-2. So it's a 4-1 game. Byron Buxton did his usual thing. We saw it last night. I guess we can't be surprised if we see it again. Nobody on, nobody out. It's an 0-2 count to the lefty Clemens. Lefty-lefty matchup. Matthew Liberatore has his pitch. He comes winding, deals. Uncle Charlie, strike three, looking on the outside corner away for the first out of the inning. And let's make sure we don't miss this one. Just a little peek behind the curtain here. Based on the way I have this set up, I don't have my usual stream deck where I can just easily press a button and it plays. I have to navigate to find my way. Here's the first pitch to Royce Lewis. Curveball strike, inside corner at the knees to the righty Lewis. And the count is 0-1. Royce Lewis is 1 for 1 with a double today. Has 5 home runs on the year. Here's the pitch. Up and away, a changeup out of the zone, 90 miles an hour. The count is 1-1. Howdy, howdy, J.M. Jones. Good to see you this afternoon. Coming wind is Liberatore, the 1-1. Just missed low and away, a changeup out of the zone. That brings the count to 2 balls, 1 strike. Nobody on with 1 out. It is a 4-1 Cardinal lead after the solo home run by Byron Buxton to lead off the bottom of the 4th for the Twins. Coming wide, the 2-1 from Liberatore. Strike, 4-seam fastball, outer third above the knees, and the count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Back in the box is Royce Lewis. Back on the bump is Libby. He deals a curveball and it bounces out in front of home plate. Clearly a ball. The count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Roger Baseman, are the Twins stealing signs? Well, apparently not the way they did in that World Series, as I have been told by many. Time is resumed by the home plate umpire. Back into the box is Lewis. It's a full count with 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the 4th. Here's the pitch. Hit out to left field, going back, looking up, and it is gone. A solo home run for Royce Lewis, and that cuts the Cardinal lead down to 4-2 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. A couple of really just cement mixer pitches to the middle of the Twins' order by Liberatore, and they have managed to cut the lead in half with a crooked number all their own. That looked like it was a cement spinner, Uncle Charlie away, and he put it a couple rows deep down over the fence in left field. Not a tape measure shot, but a respectable one. Not a wall warrior, to be sure. Now, here's the 5-hitter Lee. He's right-handed, lefty-righty matchup. Here's the first pitch to Libby, from Libby. 4-seam fastball just off the inside corner for a ball. The count is 1-0. Lee's 0 for 1, 238 with 11 home runs, 39 RBIs in 67 games. Lefty-righty matchup. Here's the 1-0. Strike, changeup, outer third at the knees, and the count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Paul Diaz the go. It's all good. Now, here's the 1-1 pitch. A slider down and way out of the zone. The count is 2-1. Ronald Lyle is in the house. Cheers, Green Mountain State. Now here's the 2-1 pitch. Foul tipped and off the face mask of Pius on the 4-seam fastball away at 96 miles an hour. And that evens up the count to 2-2. Almost 100 likes. Let's smash the like button and help Paul. Ronald Lyle, representing the Vanguard. How incredibly amazing it is to have you all here on this journey. You make it fun. The Cardinals do their part, but the part that really counts is here, between us. Now, here's the 2-2 to Lee. Foul down the first base side and out of play on the 4-seam fastball down Broadway. Count remains 2-2. Back on the bump. Here's the 2-2. Up and away. A 4-seam fastball out of the zone. And the count is 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody on with 1 out. Bottom of the 4th inning is 4-2 Cardinals. Coming set is Liberatore. He winds. The 3-2 to Lee. Hit on up the middle. Charging in is Church, and he has to play it on a hop. So a 1-out single there by Lee. And that'll give the Twins a runner on first with 1 out. This next pitch will be Liberatore's 60th. One thing is for sure, Ollie Marmol does not want to be going to the pen in the 4th inning. And the bullpen has definitely got some real taxation after last night. So they're going to probably give him a bit of rope here and see if he can get through it. You know, he has a 2-run cushion, though you don't want to lean on that too heavy, obviously. But Liberatore has had a very big problems in terms of getting distance in his start. And quality distance at that. They need more from what is an effective number 2 guy in this rotation. Now here's Orlando Asaria, 0 for 1 with a ground out. Runner on first with 1 out. From the stretch is Liberatore. He deals. Hits it up there towards the middle. Picked up on the ground by Wynn. He steps on second one. On to first. A double play. And that will do it for the Twins in the bottom of the 4th inning. They do, however, put a couple back on the board following those 2 solo shots off the bat there and charge against Matty Liberatore. But with all that said, after 4 full innings of play, it is the St. Louis Cardinals 4 and the Minnesota Twins 2. I'm Paul D, and if you are enjoying my Caller Redbirds action, please do leave a like. It helps a ton. And by all means, you want to hear more, join our cast of characters, hit subscribe. We'd love to have you aboard. Ethan, earlier you were asking why I made the switch. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a long-winded question, which I can't fully put together to you with enough time to give it its due justice. Long story short, I started out doing Yankees because it's kind of what made sense to me at the time. I had to start somewhere. Though, even before I started doing that, I was looking around to see, you know, are the Cardinals getting any attention here? I was shocked to see that there wasn't. So this was already in my mind. And about a month ago, I was on the road. My wife was at home. She had a particularly hard day at work. Just something happened to a coworker, and it just spooked the whole office. And I couldn't be there to comfort her physically. So I wanted to do something meaningful, something thoughtful for her. The Yankees had already played that day. The Cardinals were on the West Coast playing the A's, and she is foremost a Cardinals fan. 1A are the Yankees. I'm the inverse, though I love them both passionately as well as her. And so I decided to call that Cardinal game against the A's in Sacramento for her to fall asleep to, because she enjoys listening to it. And, you know, she can hear my voice, which, you know, for 2 people that have been together almost 20 years, you know, we are as, you know, thick as thieves and then some. What I didn't anticipate was how big the need there was on YouTube to do what I'm doing for the Cardinals, and I found it astounding nobody was. Now, here's the first pitch to Herrera. Change up away, well out of the zone. The count is 1 ball, no strikes to Ivan Herrera, who's 1 for 1. A 2-run home run and a hit by pitch. Here's the pitch. Swinging strike on the curveball down and away from Prelip, and the count is 1-1. What I didn't anticipate that night was 700 people would join me for what I was doing to comfort my wife. Here's the 1-1 pitch. A curveball just got a piece of that one away, did Herrera. The count is 1-2. It's a lefty-righty matchup. And it became very clear to me that there was a much greater need in the area that I was living. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the 5th inning, 4-2. It's a 1-2 count to Herrera. Here's the pitch. A curveball down and away in the dirt. The count is even 2-2. And so I decided to do it a second time the next day. People kept coming back. Did it the 3rd day. People kept coming back. Now here's the 2-2 pitch. A curveball down and away in the dirt, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Herrera. And it became clear to me that there was a serious need here. And the people that were coming were just so awesome. And, you know, what started as just a loving, thoughtful gesture to my wife when I couldn't be there has turned to something else entirely. Foul behind the plate and out of play. A slider up. The count is still 3-2. So that's essentially what the story is, Ethan. It was something of an accident, and one I'm very happy about. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Called a ball down and way out of the zone, so Herrera works a leadoff walk in the top of the 5th inning, and the Cardinals will have a runner on first with nobody out. It's a leadoff walk. Now, stepping into the box is one Jordan Walker. He's 0 for 2 today. Lefty-righty matchup. The next pitch is going to be Prelip 76. Cummins set his Prelip. Lefty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch. Foul down the first base side and out of play on the four-seam fastball away. The count is 0-1. If the Cardinals don't make the playoffs or get eliminated, will you do Yankee games after the Cardinals don't play anymore? Not just Yankee games. I'll be doing a lot of playoff games. Cummins set is the lefty Prelip. Now here's the 0-1 pitch. Up and away, a four-seam fastball, clear out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Because, yeah, Paul, we want to see you successful. Well, Fire Phoenix, you're very much a part of that, and I don't feel like I'm doing this alone by any means. Now, here's the 1-1. Hit down the right field line, and it's a little bit to the left of the line, and caught by the right fielder at the track for the first out of the inning. Retreating back towards first is Herrera. So a fly out to right by Jordan Walker's the first out of the inning. Now here comes Nelson Velasquez. He is in left field today with the platoon with the lefty Prelip on the mound. I'll watch Yankee games if the Cardinals get eliminated. Yeah, they're entertaining to watch. Nelson Velasquez, he's 1 for 2 with a single. Cummins sets the lefty Prelip. Here's the first pitch to Velasquez. A curveball away out of the zone. The count is 1-0. That, and I'm a big believer in, contributing to the community and the people I live amongst. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Change up, strike, outside corner at the knees. The count is 1-1. And Game Mike has just turned into its own thing. And I haven't been doing it alone. You guys give me so much of a boost some days when I come in here and I feel flat. Here's the 1-1 pitch. There's a fly ball out to left center field. Underneath of the center fielder calling for it. He makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Back to first is Herrera. Coinage Stocks. You earned my subscription. Great commentating. Thank you so much, Coinage Stocks. I don't believe I've seen you here in the chat before. I apologize if I missed, but it's wonderful to see you and make your acquaintance. Now, here's Alec Burleson. He's 0 for 2 with a fielder's choice. Runner on first with 2 out. It is a lefty-lefty matchup. This will be 82nd pitch for Prelip. He winds the first pitch. Hit down the left side. Given chase, but going into the stands. The count is 0-1. Almost any time you see a hitter hit a fly ball, whether it be the left or right side, into clear foul territory, you never jump the gun on it given how much foul territory they have up there in Minneapolis. Coming set is Prelip. Here's the 0-1. A sinker strike. BB outside corner about thigh high. And the count is no balls, 2 strikes. There's a runner on first with 2 out. Top of the 5th inning. It's 4-2 Cardinals. Coming set is Prelip below the letters. He deals. Chopped to the third base side. Fielded there on a hop. Third baseman throws to first just in time for the third and final out of the inning. So nothing across there in the top of the 5th for the Redbirds. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. It is a 4-2 Redbird lead here on Game 2 of 3 in this weekend setup there at Target. I'm Paul D, and I'd like to thank you all so much for spending part of your Saturday afternoon with me. One thing that's undeniable about this post is, while I am calling the game, obviously, that is pretty straightforward, it's an experience unlike any other real broadcast of a game that happens. And I'm not the first one to do it, but I find it interesting and I'm keen to point it out here, which is to say there's just this whole community dynamic. It's more than just the game. It's more than just me calling the game and talking nonstop for the better part of 3 hours. It's the interchange between you and me, the exchange between everybody that's here, it's a special thing. I've been doing the internet a long time. You know, this is certainly not my first gig here on YouTube. Not even my only gig right now on YouTube, to be sure. And the fact that we keep managing to attract so many wonderful, thoughtful, kind people that come back day after day. They're not even necessarily Cardinals fans. They're baseball fans. KCM is a Brewers fan, and they keep coming back. And sometimes I'm not trying to be corny. I'm not trying to puff this up here or overstate the fact, but there are times when I have to stop and say to myself and just pinch myself, is this happening? Is our corner of the internet this cool? And every time I come back, the answer is emphatically yes. Justin Beasley, 100 likes, 14 games in a row. The Vanguard, Justin Beasley, Ronald Lyle, KCM, the Fire Phoenix, Trisk. Now here's the first pitch to Creedler, a changeup up and away out of the zone, and the count is 1 ball, no strikes. It's the bottom of the 5th inning. 4-2 Cardinals. Come and wind is Libby. He deals. Swinging strike on the 4-seam fastball on the outside corner below the belt. And the count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Ryan Creedler, the center fielder, is 0 for 1 today. Come and winds Liberatore. He deals. Uncle Charlie called a ball. I'm surprised they did not challenge it because it had the plate and the height. But Paje says no thank you. And the count is 2-1. Come and wind is Liberatore. The 2-1 pitch. Swinging strike on the changeup down and away. Creedler goes fishing on that one out of the zone. And the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. This game is definitely starting to make me nervous. I don't blame you, Robert. I don't blame you. If you're a baseball fan, it has to. Come and wind. He deals. And Uncle Charlie off the plate for a ball, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to the righty hitting Creedler. It's a lefty-righty matchup with nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the 5th, 4-2 Cardinals. Come and wind is Liberatore. He deals. Foul down the first base side and out of play on the 4-seam fastball up and away, 95 miles an hour. Who would you root for in a playoff? Well, you guys are moving quick. I apologize if I don't catch everything very quickly. I'm working with a lot less screen space on the road. Now, here's the pitch. A changeup up and away, clear of ball, so a leadoff walk for Creedler to start off this bottom of the 5th for the Twins. And they have a runner on first with nobody out. It is a 4-2 Cardinal lead. It's the bottom of the 5th. A couple of solo home runs accounts for both of the Twins' runs. Now, here's the righty hitting second baseman, Luke Keschall. He's 0 for 1 with a foul out. He's hitting .242. It's a lefty-righty matchup. Runner on first. Here's the pitch. Hit to the left side, going back towards the wall, and it is gone. A 2-run home run by Keschall, and that ties us all up at 4. It went right down there, a couple rows leap down the left field line, and we are all tied at 4. Robert, outs. Your intuition was dead on. That was the 68th pitch for Libby. Oh, boy. That was a breaking ball up and in. It looked like a slider, a real cement spinner. And he did what any respectable major league hitter should do in any ballpark. We're all tied at 4 in the bottom of the 5th. Ollie's got to get somebody going down there in the pen. Now, here's the pitch. A curveball well up and away and out of the zone to the righty Jackson. And the count is 1 ball, no strikes. From the full line, Liberatore deals. Hit out there to right center field. Going back is Nate Church at the track, and he hauls it in right in front of the track in right center field for the first out of the inning. Number 70 for Matthew Liberatore. Who would I root for in a playoff game? Atlanta or LA? Man, you're giving me some tough choices there, Ethan. Let me think on that. And Roger, I didn't see what the question was. All I see is a question mark. I apologize if I missed it. Now, here's the righty, Martin. He's 0 for 2 today. He is the leadoff hitter in the lineup for the Twins. There is a little conference going out on the mound between Libby and Pajes. Getting ready down in the pen is the righty Matt Swanson, who in reality is probably who Ollie should have brought in last night in relief of Stanek. And so it's a long, long talk out there on the mound, undoubtedly to give more time to Swanson. And here comes Ollie Marmol. He's taking the slow walk. He's going to the righty, Matt Swanson. All righty. Ogtongi? I apologize. Cards should have won yesterday. Stanek blew the game once again in epic fashion. I mean, allowing 3 home runs. That also goes on Ollie Marmol for keeping him in there. Definitely share blame. Sam Foreman, Limby blows leads all the time. Unfortunately, right now, he is having a rough stretch of his season. Not good timing. Chuck Gaming, I hate you, Libby. Well, I don't hate him, but his performance has been loathsome, to say the least. Fire Phoenix. There'd you go. Yeah, that hurt me so bad when I was a kid. I never cried about that trade. I was upset about Tommy Hurd getting traded for a long time. Time heals all wounds, I guess. Trades of some of your favorite players to other teams are very, very difficult, especially when you're young. Woodworking outdoorsman. Good to see you, my friend. This is looking like last night's game. I think Mark Twain put it best. History doesn't repeat itself, but sometimes it rhymes. And at the moment, it sure seems like it's rhyming. Chuck Gaming, I'm done with him. Dwayne Smith. I have a hard time rooting for LA, but they are hard not to like. And I am a San Francisco Giants fan after our Redbirds. Fair enough. There's a lot of rivalry going on there. Yeah, choir guy, it's not been great. Sam Foreman, we need to put Libby in the pen. He is good for 3 or 4 innings, then he blows up. Not going to say you're wrong. Alrighty. I don't know what to do to fix our pitching. It is a quandary, to be sure. So tomorrow, Michael McGreevy is starting, which all told is usually a day to look forward to because he's been quite good. Pretty consistent. You know, he's going to be asked to pitch probably a number more innings this year than he ever has before, and the Cardinals need every one of them to be quality. All right, we are back here. Here's the first pitch. A slider down and away for a ball. The count is 1-0. Swanson, 28 and 2/3 innings, a 7.85 ERA with a 1.74 whip, 8.79 Ks per 9. Here's the pitch. A sinker down and away for a ball to the righty Martin. It's a righty-righty matchup, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Nobody on with 1 out. We're all tied at 4 after that 2-run home run. Here's the 2-0. Chopped down the third baseline. Fielded there by Jordan. He throws to first in time for the second out of the inning. On a bright note, however, Blaze Jordan defensively, between what we saw last night and so far today, has actually been pretty steady. You know, the word is he's been putting in a lot of work down in the minors, specifically on his infield defense. Looks like it's paying off. Now, here's the righty, Byron Buxton, 1 for 2 with a solo home run. Righty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch. Fouled back behind the plate on a sinker up and in, 97 miles an hour. The count is 0-1. Oh, Roger. Oh, I would never intentionally exclude you. You're one of our first citizens here on Game Mike. Come and set Swanson, the 0-1. A sweeper down and away for a ball. The count is 1-1. That's how the Romans would undoubtedly describe it. You and the other members of the Vanguard, first citizens of Game Mike. Come and set is the righty Swanson, the 1-1. Foul back behind the plate on a sweeper away, and the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes to Byron Buxton, who has been an absolute nightmare to get out in this series so far. I like McGreevy. Yeah, you and me, Robert. I definitely agree. He's been really quality. Come and set is Swanson, the 1-2 pitch. A sinker down and away, clear out of the zone at 96 miles an hour, and the count is 2-2 to Byron Buxton. Another great name that just rolls off the tongue, opposition or otherwise. Credit where it's due, man. Coming set is Fonson. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Well out of way, a sinker slightly over the lefty batter's box, and the count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. This series, he's 4 for 5 with 2 home runs, 2 RBIs, and 4 extra base hits. Woo. Coming set is Fonson, the 3-2 to Buxton. Called strike 3 on the outside corner, down and away for the 3rd and final out of the inning. However, the Twins tie this one up at 4 following that 2-run home run job after 5 full innings of play. It is the St. Louis Cardinals 4. It is the Minnesota Twins 4. I'm Paul D, and thank you all so much for spending part of your Saturday afternoon with me. I kid you not, there are some days I get behind the mic and I'm not feeling like I have my full energy. But when I come in here and I see you guys chatting, just so excited about Redbirds baseball, I'd be lying if I said it did not pump me up and get me to really focus in, put the foot to the pedal or the pedal to the floor. And I can't thank you enough for that. We await the top of the 6th inning. Let's bring that on up, y'all. Due up for the Cardinals in the top of the 6th is Blaze Jordan, followed by Jose Fermin and then Pedro Pajes. I don't know about that Fire Phoenix, but I know this. He is the man. He represents Tucson, Arizona like no one's business. Another game where Libby can't go deep in the game to save the pen. So frustrating. Yeah, it definitely is, Sam. You know, there's no way to sugarcoat that. All right, Blaze Jordan's getting back into the box. Just another moment here. Joe Madden has to be the most recognizable mug among all managers in baseball right now. Prelude's out for his 6th frame. Here's the pitch. 4-seam fastball in the outer third at the knees to Blaze Jordan. And the count is no balls and 1 strike. Now here's the 0-1. Hit down the first base side and out of play on the 4-seam fastball up. Clocked at 96 miles an hour. The count is 0-2. Blaze Jordan is 1 for 2 tonight. But he is in the hole. 0-2 to Prelip. Coming set below the letters is Prelip. Here's the pitch. Hit to the right side. Fielded on a couple hops by the second baseman. He throws to first in time for the first out in the top of the 6th. So Prelip, despite his early troubles, seems to have settled down a little bit. That was his 87th pitch of the game. He's in his 6th frame of work. Now here comes the righty, Jose Fermin. It's a lefty-righty matchup. There is nobody on with 1 out. Coming sets Prelip. Here's the first pitch to Fermin. A slider strike, outside corner at the knees, and the count is no balls, 1 strike. Coming sets Prelip, the 0-1. Strike, slider, almost down Broadway, right at the knees. The count is 0-2 to Fermin. Cody Thompson, Redbirds need a couple of better pitchers. It is a hole in their game right now. Here's the 0-2 pitch. A curveball down and in the dirt, clear out of the zone. The count is 1-2. He comes set below the letters. Here's the 1-2. Fouled back on a 4-seam fastball up, 96 miles an hour. The count remains 1-2. Josh Bradley, tough loss last night, but Jordan Walker is coming into his own now. Some of us knew he had this in him. I mean, it is incredible to have seen. Now, here's the 1-2. A slider bounces out in front of home plate for a ball. The count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. David Hodge, how did we get our runs? Got them in both the first and the second inning on some timely hitting. One of them was a 2-run shot by Herrera. Here's the pitch. A slider well inside and low, and the count is 3 balls and 2 strikes to Fermin. David Hodge, good Saturday, Paul. Thank you for spending your day with us. I can think of no one else I'd rather spend it with. Cummins sets Pralip, the 3-2, hit to the left side and into left center field for a base hit. Jose Fermin has a 1-out single in the top of the 6th inning for the Cardinals. And boy, they do need it right now. 94th pitch there by Pralip. One must ask, how much longer is Joe Maddon going to decide to keep him in there? A fine piece of hitting by Fermin. He leads off first. Now here's Pedro Pages. He's 2 for 2. Now here's a pitch. Inside a 4-seam fastball, clear out of the zone. The count is 1 ball, no strikes. He steps back into the box. It's a lefty-righty matchup. Coming set below the bed letters is Pralip. Here's the 1-0. Fouled straight back on a 4-seam fastball, up and in right below the belt. Count is 1-1. Runner on first with 1 out, top of the 6th inning. All tied at 4 up at Target Field in game 2 of 3. Coming set below the letters is Pralip. He deals. Fouled down the first base side and out of play on the 4-seam fastball away. The count is 1 ball, 2 strikes to Pages. Now, Pralip, like a good many on the younger side starters in Major League Baseball right now, as a starter, he stays in the stretch throughout. He has no actual windup, so his mechanics don't really change with runners on. Coming set below the letters is Pralip. He deals. Check swing on a curveball in the dirt for strike 3. Throw down to second. Is it in time? And Jose Fermin gets caught trying to take second on the play for the 3rd out of the inning. And a very messy bit of offensive action there by the Cardinals. Did not look pretty at all. After 5.5 innings of play, we are all tied at 4. I'm Paul D. And if you are enjoying my call of Redbirds action here on Game Mike, please do leave a like. It helps this growing channel out so much. And I deeply appreciate it. And by all means, you want to see more, hit subscribe. Join our growing community of not just Cardinal fans, but baseball fans. You couldn't hope to find a better cast of characters anywhere on the internet, let alone YouTube. With that said, I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. All tied at 4, going to the bottom of the 6th inning. Dwayne Smith, Hazelwood, but left St. Louis after high school. That's okay, Dwayne Smith. Once a St. Louisan, always a St. Louisan. So I have observed in my own life, believe me. It's a special thing to be. And as a sports town, one of the best in the country, undoubtedly, if not the best, because St. Louisans support their teams. On top of that, it's also a baseball first town. Even when we had the Rams, even when there was the football Cardinals, baseball first town. And that is one of the things that led me initially so many years ago to begin falling in love with that city and its people. And undoubtedly, so much of this community very much reflects that, even if they are no longer living in the St. Louis area. It's really something to behold. It's something I've reflected on a good deal over the last month. All right, we are here for the bottom of the 6th inning. Backing out there is Swanson. Here's the first pitch. There's a fly ball out to left field. Underneath is Velasquez battling the sun. He makes the catch for the 1st out in the bottom of the 6th. So, That was Swanson's 10th pitch in relief of Matthew Liberatore. Now here comes the cleanup hitter, Lewis. He's 2 for 2. There is one out with nobody on. Royce Lewis, 2 for 2 with a double and a solo home run. 211, 6 home runs, 17 RBIs in 37 games. He's down at first today for the Twins. It's a righty-righty matchup. Coming set at the belt is the righty Swanson. He deals a sweeper strike outside corner at the knees, 87 miles an hour, and the count is no balls, 1 strike. Coming set at the belt is Swanson, the 0-1. Fouled straight back on the sinker down Broadway, 98 miles an hour. Royce Lewis would want that one back if he had the choice. Every time they foul it straight back, you know what they say, they just missed it. And if you played at any level in baseball, you know that for yourself. Infield defense shaded towards left. Here's the pitch. Swinging strike 3. Down goes Lewis for the second out of the inning. And boy, isn't it good to hear that whistle again. Woo-hoo. J.M. Jones. My pops went back to Texas in '86. Still a Cardinals fan. The Cardinals fan has a tremendous tradition. We'll get back to that in a moment. Now here's a lefty Lee. He's 1 for 2. Righty-lefty matchup. Here's the pitch. Fouled back behind the plate and out of play on the sweeper in. The count is 0-1. Swanson has been fairly steady here in this 6th inning. 2 out with nobody on. It's an 0-1 count, righty-lefty matchup. Coming set at the belt is Swanson, the 0-1. Hit out to left field, giving chase toward the lines is Velasquez. He's up against the stands, and he makes the catch in foul territory for the final out of the inning. So, no runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. 1, 2, 3, go the Twins. We head to the top of the 7th inning, all tied at 4 up in Target Field in Minneapolis for the second game of 3 in the weekend set. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. I will take a squirrel but not a gopher. We have 5 generations of Card fans. And Patrick, it shows. It's really incredible. Paul, have you ever had gooey butter cake? Yes, of course I have, Fire Phoenix. Absolutely. My wife makes an amazing one. So does her grandma. I think I might have had some from Missouri Baking Company on the Hill, even though I primarily go to them for their out-of-this-world cannolis, which I have to say, you know, being completely fair and objective as possible, they are every bit as good as the finest pastry bakeries on Arthur Avenue in the Bronx, which is the real Little Italy in New York. It's not Little Italy in Lower Manhattan. Hasn't been for a long time. So if you ever visit the area and you want to get the real New York Italian dining experience, you go to Arthur Avenue. And Missouri Baking Company is toe-to-toe with all of them. As I mentioned briefly maybe a couple of nights ago, they actually catered the dessert portion of Mrs. Game Mike's and my wedding a good, almost 8 years ago now. That's a place that has a very special place in my heart. What food are you eating in New York? Oh, John, what am I not eating? I'll expand on that more in a moment. All right, we are here for the top of the 7th inning. 4-7-0 Cardinals, 4-5-0 Twins, top of 7. Leading off home plate is the home plate umpire. Leading off is Nate Church, followed by Mason Wynn and Ivan Herrera. Now here is the righty Justin Lawrence, 25 2/3 innings, a 4.91 ERA, a WHIP of 1.60, 10.87 strikeouts per 9, and a 43.1% ground ball rate. Righty-lefty matchup with the lefty Church in the box. Here's the pitch. Strike, 4-seam fastball outer third at the knees, and the count is no balls and 1 strike. He is kind of a 3/4 somewhat sidearm action reliever is the righty Lawrence. He comes set well below the belt. Here's the 0-1. A sinker just missed on the inside corner, thigh high, and the count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Nate Church is 1 for 2 today. Lawrence comes set at the thighs. Here's the 1-1. He shows bunt, pulls back. It's a sweeper down in for a ball. Did he go around? No, says Blue down the third baseline. And that brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. J.M. Jones, married a Memphis gal. Both herself and my late in-laws were a lifetime Cards fan. Get back to the rest in a moment. Coming set is Lawrence. The 2-1 to Church. Foul down the third base side and out of play on a sinker, and the count's even at 2-2. Let me get you back there. In the older days, pretty much team all of the mid-upper South. Radio reached way out, recruiting and farm teams too. Common sets Lawrence. The 2-2 to Church. Sweeper down and in. Did he go around? Yes, says Blue down the third baseline. And that's the first out of the inning. So Nate Church was not able to hold his swing on the sweeper down and in. That's the first out. Let's see the side view. That's a bad call. Bad call. He absolutely did not swing on that. Bad call by Blue down the third baseline. You know me, I'm always fair, but when they're wrong, I will point it out. Now, here's Mason Wynn, who's 0 for 1. Righty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch. A sweeper strike, outside corner at the knees. The count is 0-1. I mean, he didn't even get the barrel of the bat to the mid portion of the plate. Coming set below the belt is Lawrence. He deals to Wynn. Swinging strike on the sweeper, up and in, 82 miles an hour. And the count is no balls, 2 strikes for the righty hitting shortstop for St. Louis. Nobody on with 1 out, all tied at 4 in the top of the 7th inning here in Game 2 of 3. This is the matinee on Saturday. Common set is Lawrence below the belt. Here's the 0-2 to Win. Well outside, a sweeper goes over the lefty batter's box. Pretty much bisected it. Counts 1-2. Back in the box is Win. Set well below the belt is the sidewinder Lawrence. And he deals. Called strike 3 on the outside corner at the knees for the second out of the inning. Basically, that looked like a sweeper that didn't sweep so much, but it whispered over the black of the outside corner and about knee high with Mason Wynn. He went down in the observatory doing Major League Baseball's impression of Cyrillic. Now here is Ivan Herrera with nobody on and 2 out, top of the 7th inning. Righty-righty matchup to the sidewinder Lawrence. He comes set below the belt. Here's the first pitch. Just missed the outside corner with a sinker, 91 miles an hour. The count is 1-0 to Ivan Herrera. He's 1 for 1. He has that 2-run home run back in the first. He also got hit by a pitch and walked. Here's the pitch. Sweeper strike right down Broadway at the knees, and the count is 1-1. He pulled that off with a sweeper. St. Louis Toasted Ravs. Y'all, I'm getting nostalgic. With good reason. Coming set is the sidewinder. He deals. A sweeper low on the inner third. Taking all the way is Herrera. And the count is 2 balls, 1 strike. Wade Smith. Way to go, John Williams. I'm as superstitious as any real baseball fan as to my effect on being part of the game. Coming set is Lawrence, the 2-1. There's a fly ball out to left field, going back, looking up, and it is long gone. A solo home run for Ivan Herrera, and that will give the Cardinals a 5-4 lead. That thing went basically where his 2-run shot back in the first landed, way in the upper tier in left field. And that gives the Cardinals a 5-4 lead. A 2-home run day for Ivan Herrera. 3 RBIs in total. The left fielder just kind of barely turned around as he watched it deposited into the upper field and left at target. And he is wearing the pendant in the dugout. Here's Walker. Here's the righty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch. A sinker that misses away for a ball. The count's 1-0. My apologies on my voice, folks. I am giving you everything I got here. Coming set is Lawrence. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Well inside, a sweeper to the righty. Walker nowhere near the zone. The count's 2-0. C. John has entered the chat. Moonshot indeed. Jordan Walker's 0 for 3 with a fly out in the fifth. It's a 2-0 count. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Hit down the left field line. There it goes, looking up, and it is gone. A solo home run for Jordan Walker. Jordan Walker, keep walking, and that will give the Cardinals a 6-4 lead. He deposited that one right where Ivan Herrera put it in the previous at-bat. A good 450 feet away in the upper deck and left it target field. And the Cardinals have a 6-4 lead in the top of the seventh inning. And that was a cement spinner sweeper, middle in. Standing back in the box was Jordan Walker, and that was an absolute moonshot. Just like Herrera, the at-bat before, they barely turned around. You wouldn't have known the difference based on the replays alone. And the Cardinals have a 6-4 lead, top of seven. Now here's Nelson Velasquez, the righty. It's a righty-righty matchup. Nobody on with 2 out. 2 across already here in the top of the seventh inning for the Redbirds. And a bit of a conference going out there between the battery mates, trying to get things under control. Fire Phoenix, yeah, save your voice, Paul. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you for giving me the free pass, man. Now here's Lars Nootbaar. He's pinch hitting for Nelson Velasquez. It's a righty-lefty matchup. 2 out, nobody on. 6-4 Cardinals. Here's the first pitch. A sweeper well inside to the lefty. A check swing. Did he go around? No, says Blue down the third baseline. Count is 1-0. I tend to agree, Robert. I do think they need more than this, unfortunately. Coming set is Lawrence. The 1-0 to Nootbaar. A sweeper away, out of the zone. The count is 2-0. Yep, credit to Josh. Coming set is the righty Lawrence. Righty-lefty matchup. Here's the pitch to Nootbaar. A sinker well inside, gets past the catcher. Second time this at bat, and the count is 3 balls, no strikes. I imagine Newt will be going into statue mode on the 3-0. Wow, that home run from Jordan Walker was 454 feet. Coming set is Lawrence. The 3-0 to Nootbaar. Strike. Newt's taking all the way. He's not going to let Lawrence back into this at-bat by pulling the trigger. Coming set is Lawrence below the belt. Here's the 3-1 to Newt. Hit on up the middle and into center field for a base hit. So a 2-out single there by Newt in the pinch hitting slot for Nelson Velasquez. Presumably, he will also be replacing him on defense out and left. So a runner on first with 2 out. And that was right down Broadway. And Newt just lowered the barrel on it, sent it right back where it came. Runner on first with 2 out. Stubby Clap's having a little word there with Nootbaar. One of the best baseball names of all time. And now a big powwow out in the mound for the Twins with Lawrence. They have to be getting someone hot down there in the pen. We need to pile it on each and every time, Robert. Insurance runs, boys. Let's go. You know it. Wow, 454 feet. I'm going to have to watch that highlight later. He's a big boy who sends that ball for a big fly, no doubt, Cobra. Yeah, I take that 2-run job from Burley as well here. So it's a righty-lefty matchup. Burleson is 0 for 3. Ground out, fielder's choice, ground out. It's a righty-lefty matchup. This will be the 22nd pitch for Lawrence in relief. He deals. well inside a sinker out of the zone, 94 miles an hour. The count is 1-0. Burleson is back into the box. Coming set below the belt is Lawrence. Here's the 1-0. A sweeper out and away for a ball. The count is 2-0. Consider having a teaspoon of honey to soothe your vocal cords. If you have cough drop, that's good too. That is very good a suggestion with Ingenuity Podcast, whoever you are. Coming sets Lawrence, the 2-0 to Burley. Hit to the right side and past the first baseman into right field for a base hit. Going to third is Newpar on the hit. So runners on first and third following the 2-out single by Burley. And the Cardinals have runners on first and third with 2 out here in the top of the 7th. Now here comes the righty, none other than the wunderkind himself, Blaze Jordan. And Newt obviously was going on contact with 2 outs. Went to third sliding. There was no play. Alec Burleson is keeping up his hot hitting. Now here is Blaze Jordan. He is 1 for 3. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of the catcher. I don't know if they're just trying to buy more time for a reliever to get hot down there in the pen. That's certainly what I would be doing. Josh Bradley, have a hottie toddy, bro, with bourbon. I love the idea. Now here comes Joe Madden out to the mound. He's going to a right-hander. I think it's probably about time. Yep, the right-hander Adams is coming in. So we have a pitching change with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Runners on first and third with 2 out. 2 already across. Okay, John, you're asking me what I was planning on eating while I'm here. First and foremost is pizza. There's a lot of great options. But Patsy's on the Upper East Side, I want to say it's maybe around 117th and 1st, something like that. Really amazing stuff. Grimaldi's isn't what it used to be, as you can imagine. I do like to go to a place that's known as Walensky's Grill in Midtown. It's not far from Grand Central. They have a really just a wonderful cut of prime rib with some excellent au jus and horseradish sauce. Every time I go there, it's obviously a very special treat with Mrs. Game Mike and I. We usually go there with a dear friend of ours. And it's a great atmosphere. It's kind of like darkly lit. A lot of dark hardwood and green. A lot of pictures. A very comfortable, friendly atmosphere. It's really wonderful stuff. Rush Dash. Hi, Rush Dash. So that's some of my answers to your questions, John. And Williamsburg and Brooklyn does tremendous stuff. Now here's the righty Travis Adam in relief. 13 and a third innings pitch, a 7.43 ERA, a 1.58 WHIP, 10.80 Ks per 9, all through 10 games. He comes in with runners on first and third with 2 outs, 2 already across. It's 6-4 Cardinals in the top of the 7th. They have taken the lead. It's been a back and forth game offensively, just like last night. And now here comes the Rook. In his second major league game, the third baseman, Blaze Jordan, the second major leaguer currently playing on a major league roster, the proper 26-man, whose first name is also Blaze, the other one being Blaze Alexander of the Orioles. It's a righty-righty matchup. Runners on first and third with 2 out. Coming set is the righty Adams. Here's the first pitch to Jordan. That's a slider up and away and out of the zone for a ball. And the count is 1 ball and no strikes. Coming set is Adams. He deals to Jordan. Fouled straight back on the 4-seam fastball, away and about belt high. He definitely wanted that one back. It went straight back. He just missed it. He's interesting because He doesn't strike out much, doesn't walk much, will occasionally go out of the zone, but he puts bat on the ball a lot. Coming set is the righty Adams. Here's the 1-1. A cutter well out and away and over the lefty batter's box, and the count is 2-1 strike. And there is somebody up and going in the pen. It looks like Ryan Stanek of all people. Coming set is Adams. Here's a 2-1 to Jordan. A changeup down and away for a ball at 87 miles an hour. And that'll be 3-1 to the Rook, Blaze Jordan. He's in that classic hitter's count with a runner in scoring position and 2 out. Top of the 7th inning, 6-4 Cardinals. They put 2 across. Coming sets Adams. He deals. Hit on out there to left field. He's going back. He's looking up. And it is gone. A 3-run home run for Blaze Alexander. And that will give the Cardinals a 9-4 lead. Oh, Blaze Alexander has set the scene afire up in Minnesota. And he gives the Cardinals a 9-4 lead. Oh, Blaze Jordan, the wunderkind himself, has his first career major league home run, and it was a bomb-ola to left center field. Easily over 400 feet, and he is getting all the love in the clubhouse wearing that pendant because he's got the dog in him. Now, here's Fermin. Here's the pitch. A cutter inside for a strike, and the count is 0-1 strike. So it is now 9-4 Cardinals. There are your insurance runs, assuming you trust Ryan Stanek at all. Here's the 0-1. Slider down and away for a ball. Count is 1-1. Nobody on, 2 out, top of the 7th inning. It is now a 9-4 Cardinal lead. They have put up a 5 spot. Adams deals, hit to the left side, fielded on the ground by the third baseman. He spins and throws, and he gets Fermin at first for the 3rd and final out of the inning. But not before the Cardinals put up a 5 spot, the last 3 of which was the 3-run home run, the first major league home run of Blaze Jordan's career. A 3-run job that gave the Cardinals a 9-4 lead. They go down to 7th inning stretch time at Target Field. I'm Paul D. And first off, thank you all so much for spending part of your Saturday with me. If you're enjoying my call of Redbirds action and want to pump me up a little bit with a like to help out this voice of mine, please do leave a like. It helps out this channel more than you can know. And on top of that, by all means, if you're enjoying my call here, you like what you see, hit subscribe. Join our community here at Game Mike of not just Cardinal fans, but baseball fans. 9-4 Cardinals going to the bottom of the 7th. Keep it going, guys. I don't trust Stanek at all. Sorry. With good reason. Justin Beasley. 329 viewers and only 129 likes. Let's go. Justin Beasley doing Justin Beasley things. Robert Outs. Yes, baby. You know it. Dwayne Smith. We did it. Ha ha ha. Yes, indeed. Chortle away, my friend. These Cardinal taters are huge. You know it, Fire Phoenix. Scott Reed, Biloxi, ... Whiskey and Honey, Biloxi and Scott Reed is in the house. Rushdas, I think Blaze Jordan will be a great third baseman. Boy, based on the first 1.5 games, I think you got to sign up with that prediction. Ogtong, I'm not entirely, I'm going to call you OG. OG Ton, I apologize. Imagine they put Stanek in today. Well, guess what, my friend? They just did. Here's the first pitch. Foul back behind the plate on the fastball, up and in, a 4-seam fastball. Count is 0-1. Ryan Stanek, 27 in the 3rd innings pitch, a 5.60 ERA, a 1.61 whip, 10.87 Ks per 9, a 39.7% ground ball rate. Big shock after last night. Here's the 0-1. Hit down the left field side and foul. And the count is 0-2. Yeah. Cardinals continue to show they have the best farm system. Yeah. And they make some serious trades. Here is the lefty Larnach. He's pinch hitting. Here's the 0-2. Foul down the first base side and out of play on the splitter in. Count remains 0-2. Larnach is pinch hitting for Arcia, the shortstop. He's in the hole. 0-2 to Stanek, who really needs some redemption here. Here's the 0-2. Foul down the third base side and out of play on the four-seam fastball up. Clocked it in 99. No, Blaze Jordan has been something else, folks. It's always awesome when you see a great talent come out and just seize the moment. Carpe diem. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Four-seam fastball well up and away at 99 miles an hour. The count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Larnach. He steps out of the box. One thing is for sure, Cardinal offense is cooking. Trevor Larnach's hitting .250 with 3 home runs, 17 RBIs. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the 7th, 9-4 Cardinals. Stanek deals. Swinging strike 3 on the splitter. Down and away for the first out of the inning. So, the most powerful blonde mullet in all of baseball is desperately trying to redeem himself in the eyes of everybody and not get sent down to Memphis. Back on the bump is Stanek. Here's the pitch. Called strike. Four-seam fastball outside corner. The count is 0-1 to the lefty Gray, who's 0-1. Righty-lefty matchup. 1 out, nobody on. Bottom of the 7th, 9-4 Cardinals. Come and set Stanek. He deals. There's a fly ball out to center field. Coming in a few feet is Nate Church. He camps underneath it for the second out of the inning. So a couple of quick outs here in the bottom of the 7th by Ryan Stanek. He's got a big mountain to climb to make up for last night. For life, I know. I'm just trying to grind it out. Now here's the righty Kershaw. Here's the pitch. There's a fly ball out to left field. Underneath it is Nootbaar battling the sun. He makes the catch for the third and final out of the inning. So, no runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. The Twins go down in order. It's a 9-4 Cardinal lead heading to the top of the 8th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. You know, I just got the most wonderful and out-of-nowhere unexpected thing. Mrs. Game Mike just came back from a movie, and just as that ball was settling into Nootbaar's glove, she very quietly and very gently stepped behind me and kissed me on the back of the head. I tell you, folks, when you find the right person, your life is never the same again. And I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. Not to take away from Lou Gehrig, of course, but relatively speaking. Yes, she is, Justin. And a true St. Louisan to the core and Cardinal fan. Her family is deep in Cardinal red. She has been so supportive. She recognizes, as a native St. Louisan, how important this is to the fabric of everyday life in the spring, summer, and fall in St. Louis. So if you're going to thank me, I very much appreciate it. But Mrs. Game Mike needs to enjoy no less the plaudits than I have received. She is right now, behind the curtain, one of the most important people that drive this Game Mike engine. Thank you, Kelly Taylor. Hey, when you're feeling it, I have no issue with letting the whole world know. In fact, when we have a break, I'm going to tell you the brief story of how we met. You might not believe it, but it's true. Now, here's Pedro Pajes, righty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch. Fouled straight back on the four-seam fastball upstairs, and the count is no balls and one strike. From the righty, Adams out for his second frame. Pajes is 2 for 3. Looking in is Adams. He comes set at the letters. Here's the 0-1 to Pajes. A cutter out and away for a ball, slightly over the lefty batter's box. Count is 1-1. Yes, she is, Fire Phoenix. Yes, she is. Coming set is Adams. Here's the 1-1. Changeup down and away for a ball. The count is 2-1. Coming set is Adams. The pitch. Hit to the left side and down the left field line into the corner for a base hit. Rounding first is Pajes. He trucks into second with a leadoff double in the top of the 8th inning. So the offensive engine continues to churn for the Cardinals in the top of the 8th. A lead-off stand-up double for Pedro Pajes. He's now 3 for 4 on the afternoon, his second double of the day. Shout out to Mrs. Bomber's Game Mike MVP. You know it. Roger Baseman. 26 years after she lost to Beat, we're still together. It's a wonderful thing, Roger. I'm glad you have that happiness in your life. Now here's the pitch. Fouled straight back on the pitch down and into Nate Church. Pajes at second. Pajes at second. Coming set is Adams. Here's the 0-1 to Church. Swinging strike on the changeup down and away. That was a proper arm side action fading slider away from Church. In terms of the changeup, the count is 0-2. Coming set is Adams. Here's the 0-2. A changeup down and in the dirt. And the count is, or at least I believe is 2-1. The score bug for the broadcast has been all over the place today. They're saying it's a 1-2 count. Coming set is Adams. Here's the pitch. Foul down the third baseline on a changeup down and in. And apparently the count is 1-2. It's a 1-2 count to Church. Coming set is Adams. He deals. Foul down the third baseline on a four-seam fastball up at 96 miles an hour. The count's 1-2. Paul, can the better half call a game? I'm afraid you're getting to need some relief for tomorrow. Well, Gino, I'm going to come back to that in a moment when we have a break in the action. Coming set is Adams. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3 on the changeup, fading down and away. And that is the first out of the inning. Well, Gino, I've mentioned this a couple of times. And while I'm not making any promises, while it's something that has largely been agreed to in principle, which is high diplomatic talk where I kind of agree, but I don't know if I'm going to follow along with it. At some point this year, she will join me for a call. Here's the first pitch to Mason Wynn. A cutter up and away and out of the zone, and the count is 1-0. Mason Wynn, walk. A foul out. A strikeout. He's 0 for 2. Coming set is Adams. The 1-0 pitch. Foul down the first base side, a four-seam fastball. The count's 1-1. Because she is, first off, she's a serious Cardinal fan. The Yankees are her 1A team. I'm the inverse of that. But we both have a tremendous passion for the Cardinals, and she's an excellent presenter. Coming set is Adams. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Up and away, a cutter out of the zone, 92 miles an hour. The count is 2-1. Back in the box is Wynn. It's a righty-righty matchup. Top of the 8th, 9-4 Cardinals. Runner on second with one out. It's a 2-1 count, righty-righty matchup. Here's the 2-1. Swinging strike on the slider away. Swinging underneath that is Win. And the count is 2-2. I appreciate that, Fire Phoenix. But I am here for a reason. I'll get more to that in a minute. Here's a 2-2. Hit to the left side. Fielded on the hop by the shortstop. He throws to first in time for the second out. Going to third is Pajes. There's the throw. And he is thrown out at third for the third and final out of the inning. A rare base running miscue there by Pajes. And that will end the inning. So, after 7.5 innings of play, it is the St. Louis Cardinals 9 and the Minnesota Twins 4. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. I'm Paul D. And if you are enjoying my call of this Redbird action this afternoon, please do leave a like. It helps us growing channel out a ton, and I very much appreciate it. And if you want to see more, just hit subscribe. We'd all love to have you aboard. With that said, going to the bottom of the 8th, 9-4 Cardinals. Well, here's the thing about the voice, right? And this is something I've known about myself. It's not so much the mileage I've been putting on, it's the fact that I haven't slept since last night. So I haven't had a chance to recuperate. You know, honestly, well, I will be here tomorrow, and I very much appreciate you guys saying take the day off. But right now, I feel very strongly that there's a need for this. And you know what? Right now, I'm that guy. And people come here knowing the game is going to be on. I might try to talk Mrs. Game Mike to doing it since, you know, it's audio only. And you get to meet Mrs. Game Mike. I think maybe I can talk her into it. You know, just trying to get some of that off the top. What's going on, Josh? I apologize if I missed something there, guys. Sometimes I'm focusing on the action and what I have to say. But, guys, is it the bottom of the 8th, the final game? No, there's a game tomorrow as well. This is the second game of a 3-game set. Now, here's Chris Roycroft. He just called up from AAA Memphis with Hunter Dobson getting put down. He's a right-hander, 3 2/3, a 12.27 ERA. So this is his first action since getting called up. Dude is 6'7", 230 pounds. It's a righty-righty matchup. To the righty Jackson, the 9-hitter. Here's the pitch. A sinker just off the plate inside to the righty Jackson. And the count is 1-0. Coming set above the belt is Roycroft. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Chopped down the first base side and out of play on the sinker in. The count is 1-1 strike. Aliens-B3Y. If anybody in the chat wants to help inform him, get him up to speed on his questions, I would very much appreciate it. With the game action going here, unfortunately, I cannot fulfill that role. Coming sets Roycroft. Here's the 1-1. Chopped down to third base, fielded there by Blaze Jordan on a hop. He throws to first in time for the first out of the inning. So at every opportunity so far, defensively at third base in these 2 first games of Blaze Jordan's career, he has actually looked very steady on some rather challenging plays, especially ones where he has to charge in and he's getting the ball like on an in-between hop. Coming set is Roycroft to the righty Martin, who's 0 for 3. Here's the pitch. A sinker in for a ball, 98 miles an hour. The count is 1 ball, no strikes. Your dedication is heartwarming. I do it for good people. It keeps me going. Coming set is Roycroft. Here's the 1-0. Strike, cutter, outside corner at the knees, and the count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody on with 1 out, bottom of the 8th inning. 9-4 Cardinals here on the Saturday afternoon. Here's the 1-1. A sweeper away for a ball that counts 2-1. David Elliott. Recently discovered this channel. I enjoy the way you call a game, and I can listen to it in the background of anything else I happen to be doing. Appreciate you much. Take care of that voice. Here's the 2-1. A sinker down and in for a ball. The count is 3-1 to Martin. Well, Dave Elliott, I'm glad you found us. I'm glad you enjoy it so much, and we're very happy to have you here. Thank you for making yourself known. By all means, get acquainted. We all like to meet you. Here's the 3-1. Strike, sinker on the inside corner, thigh high to the righty Martin, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on with 1 out, bottom of the 8th inning. 9-4 Cardinals. The righty Roycroft, recently recalled from AAA Memphis. Corresponding move, Hunter Dobson moving down to Memphis. He is on the bump. Here's a 3-2 pitch. Hit foul down the third baseline on the sinker away. The count remains full. From space. A likely story. A likely story. Come and set is Roycroft. Here's a 3-2 pitch. Called strike 3. A delayed called strikeout looking call by the home plate umpire. And that will be the second out of the inning. And it looks like there's an ABS challenge on this. And the call is overturned. Oy, oy, oy. He takes first base. So, unfortunately, I got to retract the whistle on that. Not that we didn't all love hearing it. I sure do. I think the only person who enjoys it more is Justin Beasley. And boy, Ollie Marmol is furious with the home plate umpire. I think the argument is that he's making is that Martin took too long to indicate an ABS challenge. Major League Baseball designates that you have within 3 seconds to do it because they want it to be bang bang. And Ollie Marmol does not appear to have gotten the hook over it as far as I can tell. But honestly, Martin did take a while. But it also took a while for the home plate umpire to actually signal the strike 3. Nope. Marmol has gotten booted from the game. So, Ollie takes one for the team. Let's take a look here. And Ollie Marmol is absolutely correct. He took way too long. Coming set is Roycroft. Here's the righty Byron Buxton. Here's the pitch. Sinker strike. Outside corner at the knees. The count is 0-1. No, it was a bad job by the home plate umpire. Music Foundation. Hey, Bob. How you doing? Coming set is Roycroft. Here's the 0-1 to Buxton. Swinging strike on the sweeper away. 87 miles an hour, and the count is 0-2 to the perennial all-star, Byron Buxton, who has struck out, hit a home run, and a strikeout looking. I'll get back to you in a moment, Bob. Back in the box is Buxton. It's no 2 count. Runner on first with 1 out. Bottom of the 8th inning. 9-4 Cardinals. Roycroft, the righty, is on the mound. Recently recalled from AAA. Coming set is Roycroft. He deals a sweeper away for a ball at 86 miles an hour. The count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bob. My man, Paul D. Thanks for streaming, bud. You can call me Bob. I just tuned in as long as I got into overtime today. Go Cardinals. I hope everyone is having a good Saturday. Here's the 1-2. Chopped up there in front of the mound, slightly to third base, and everybody is safe. It was a ball that was perfectly placed on what was literally a swinging bunt by Buxton. And now the Twins have runners on first and second with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. No, Music Foundation, Bob, I remember you telling me your name from the other night. I didn't have an ability to respond to it, but I saw it and I remember it. And it's great to have you back. Another excellent addition to our growing cast of characters. Now, Roycroft is getting the hook. Who are they going to? Jojo Romero is coming in to face the lefty, Clemens. Jacob, 67. I'm going to the game Monday night. I hope we get the win. We didn't win when I went last year. Hey, you know, against San Diego, you certainly have a chance. You know, they split the 4-game series back in early May, as I recall. That was a janky play, boys. In so many ways, Robert. Justin Beasley, DP right now would be nice. You know, Justin, you mentioned a different kind of whistle for a double play. I was thinking maybe a disco whistle. Or maybe something with a harmonica. That might be cool. It's one of my favorite instruments. Of course, I can't play it. You know, I just blow into the thing like a doof. Well, I really appreciate that, Bob. Like I said, it's good to have you here this afternoon. 6 likes away from 150. Punch the like button in the face. Justin Beasley doing Justin Beasley things. Paul, you need like a gong is not a bad idea. No, it's not bad, Justin. I gotta think on that. Disco sound. Hey, Jock! The Commonwealth of Puerto Rico is in the house. The double play gong. Bong, bong. It's possible. Yeah. I think that's definitely possible. When we chat, Justin, I'll definitely pick your brain more on that because you have some good ideas there. Dwayne Smith, slide whistle, yeah. Now, here's JoJo Romero to face the lefty Clemens. There's runners on first and second with 1 out. Common set at the Birds is Romero. Here's the pitch. Strike, sweeper, right down Broadway below the belt. Count is 0-1. There's runners on first and second with 1 out. Cody Clemens 0 for 3. Ground out, strikeout looking, and a foul out. Runners lead off first and second. Common set at the Birds is Romero. The 0-1. Hit foul down the first base side and out of play on a sweeper, and the count is no balls, 2 strikes. Richard. Paul, since you are in New York, you can go to Brooklyn and reenact John Travolta from Saturday Night Fever. I wouldn't have far to go right now, man. I'm already there in Brooklyn. Common sense Romero. Here's the pitch. Hit up the middle and through the hole for a base hit. Coming around third is the runner, and it looks like he will score, and that will give the Twins their 5th run, and the Cardinals now lead by a score of 9-5. Runners are on first and second with 1 out. So Romero comes in to try to get the lefty Clemens. Clemens just sends it up the middle in the hole that was there. Infield defense was clearly aligned towards right, but there was a hole just to the right of second that Clemens managed to put it through. Runners on first and second with 1 out, bottom of the 8th. 9-5 Cardinals. The Twins already have 1 across here. Now here is the righty, Royce Lewis, the cleanup hitter, who's 2 for 3. Lefty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch. Hit to shortstop, fielded there by Wynn. There goes the second one. On to first. A double play. The pitcher's best friend, and that will do it. JoJo Romero ultimately gets the Cardinals out of that bottom of the 8th inning jam. They head to the top of the 9th inning. They now have a 9-5 lead after the Twins put 1 across. And so after 8 full innings of play, it is the St. Louis Cardinals 9 and the Minnesota Twins 5. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. Bruce Sutter or Lee Smith are available. Maybe if you put them together, they could get it out at that age. Or the Mad Hungarian. He's always in the wings, man. He's never truly left the game. Jock, yeah, O'Brien will have 3-run lead in the 9th. We shall see. Riley O'Brien has been very hit or miss, to say the least. When that sinker ain't working, boy, ooh boy, things get dicey fast. What's going on here? Will the Birds blow it again? Honestly, Cody Thompson, I don't know. I hope not. Well, you know, Cody, I mean, it's a legitimate question. I mean, after last night, you know, that was a hard game to watch. At this point, they're responsible for recording 3 outs before the Minnesota Twins can score 4 runs. I would imagine, obviously, Ollie Marmol got tossed from the game, but I would imagine they probably will go to Riley O'Brien because they want to get this game. They don't want to play around. Even though Riley O'Brien has been clearly hit or miss, he's really got to turn it around, or the Cardinals need to find an alternative somehow. The closer position can be very transient and their success highly ephemeral. As a Yankee fan, watching Mariano Rivera for all those years was an aberration. Here's the first pitch to Herrera. A sweeper strike, outside corner at the knees. The count is 0-1 to Herrera, who is 2 for 2. He has been a huge part of this game. Here's the pitch. A cutter down and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. That 2 for 2 is 2 home runs, a walk, and a hit by pitch. He has 3 RBIs. It's a 1-1 count. Coming set is Adams. Here's the pitch. Changeup strike, inner third, thigh high. I can't imagine that is where he wanted to put it, but Herrera didn't pull the trigger, and the count is 1-2 with nobody on and nobody out. Top of the ninth, 9-5 Cardinals. Coming set is the righty Adams. Righty-righty matchup. Here's the 1-2. A slider well out and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. I'm glad you like it, aliens. I'm glad you like it. Bong. Welcome aboard, David Elliott. Coming set is Adams. He deals to Herrera. Chopped down toward short, fielded on the hop. He throws to first in time to get Herrera for the first out of the inning. Whack noise would be a good base hit noise, quite possibly. But here comes Jordan Walker. He's 1 for 4, and he had that huge solo home run. It's a righty-righty matchup with nobody on, 1 out. Top of the ninth, 9-5 Cardinals. Coming set is the righty Adams. This will be his 29th pitch. Here's the first pitch to Walker. Hit on up the middle and stabbed on the line by the second baseman for the second out of the inning. So, hitting into a little bad luck there was Jordan Walker. He put some good wood on that, but second baseman was shaded basically right up against second. He stabs it with the getting the old Adam ball. Now here's Lars Nootbaar. He's 1 for 1. He pinch hit earlier for Nelson Velasquez. It's a righty-lefty matchup with nobody on, 2 out. Top of the ninth, 9-5 Cardinals. Here's the pitch from Adams. A cutter down and away, clear out of the zone. The count is 1 ball, no strikes. Paul, you have to be tired after last night and an early flight now, to say the least, my friend. Here's the 1-0. A changeup down and away out of the zone, 88 miles an hour. The count is 2 balls, no strikes. A quack noise. Maybe, Jock. Adams looks in. He sets at the letters. Here's the 2-0 to Nootbaar. A sinker away out of the zone. The count is 3 balls, no strikes. Mariano had you spoiled. Dave, there's no question about it. Luckily, I knew it at the time. I never took it for granted. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Strike, four-seam fastball down Broadway, 95 miles an hour. Count 3-1. Nootbaar going into statue mode at 3-0. So it's a 3-1 count. Looks like Riley O'Brien's getting hot down there in the pen. They're going to be sending him out there to get the last 3 in the ninth. Here's a 3-1. Swinging strike on the changeup, down and in. Swung over the top of that one, did Nootbaar. And the count is 3 balls, 2 strikes. Jason Isringhausen, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Here's the 3-2. Ball 4 on the changeup, well in. So Newt works a 2-out walk in the top of the ninth. Take a sip here by Verner's. And now here comes Alec Burleson. He's 1 for 4. Coming set is Adams. It's a righty-lefty matchup. Here's the pitch. Foul down the third base side. Now to play on the changeup away. 88 miles an hour. The count is no balls, 1 strike. Leading off first is Newport. It's 0-1 count to Alec Burleson. The righty Adams comes set at the letters. Here's the 0-1 pitch. There's a fly ball into short center field, and the diving head-first slide to make the third and final out of the inning by the center fielder, and that will do it. So, we head to the bottom of the ninth. It is a 9-5 Cardinal lead, and Riley O'Brien, despite the fact this is not a save situation, is coming in to get the last three here. We haven't seen him in a little while for various reasons. I watched an epic Chris Carpenter playoff game where he gave up 3 hits and won the game 1-0. That was Game 5, I believe, of the NLDS to the Philadelphia Phillies back in 2011. I believe the Phillies that year won 103 games, and then the Cardinals went into their house, put up their feet, and said, "This is my place, buddy," on their way to their 11th World Series championship, second only to the Yankees' 27th. John, the only Carradine I know is, I believe, I believe it is John Carradine, but that's neither here nor there. No, that NLDS in Game 5 against the Phillies in 2011 was epic. Chris Carpenter was such a gamer. I mean, he dealt with so many injuries in his career, but when he was healthy enough and your season was on the line, there is nobody else you hand that ball to in that situation. Yeah, 27, Richard, 27. And they make sure everybody knows it, of course. Does Swanson get the win? You know, that's actually a really good question. He may very well be the pitcher of record, yeah. Now, here's the righty, Riley O'Brien, trying to nail down these last 3 outs. In 29 1/3, he has an ERA of 3.68 and a whip of 1.16, 9.51 Ks per 9, and a ground ball percentage of 55% even. And that's very much in line with the fact that he relies heavily on that sinker, and so much of his success goes along with it. He comes set. Here's the first pitch. Out and away to the lefty Lee, a sinker for a ball that counts 1-0. It's a righty-lefty matchup. The lefty Lee is 1 for 3 this afternoon. Bottom of the ninth, 9-5 Cardinals. Nobody on, nobody out, so 1-0 count. Here's the 1-0. Strike, sinker, outside corner at the knees, and the count is 1-1. David Hodge, you said I deserve something, and I couldn't find what you were referencing. But here's the 1-1. Just a little low, a sweeper down Broadway, called a ball, and the count is 2-1. Both the Cardinals and the Twins have each of their 2 ABS challenges remaining in regulation. Come and said so, Brian. Here's the pitch. Swinker, strike. Swung over the top of that one, did Lee, and the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's a 2-2 count. O'Brien on the mound. The lefty Lee in the box with nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the ninth, 9-5 Cardinals. Coming sets O'Brien. He deals a sinker away for a ball, 97 miles an hour, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Coming set at the belt is O'Brien. Now here's a 3-2. Ball 4 on the sinker, down and in. Missed the plate and low. And O'Brien issues a leadoff walk in the bottom of the ninth. There are few mortal sins in the world of pitching, but the leadoff walk ranks highly among them. Now here's the lefty Larnach, runner on first with nobody out. Bottom of the ninth, 9-5 Cardinals. O'Brien, he comes set at the belt. Righty-lefty matchup. Here's the first pitch to Larnach. is called a ball, challenged immediately there by Pages. So we have an ABS challenging coming. I think Pages has made a good case for himself. And it's a ball. The call is confirmed, and it is a 1-0 count. It missed by 2.1 inches. Hey, I would have done the same thing in Pages' position. I never like to second guess the ABS there. Coming set is O'Brien at the belt. Runner on first with nobody out. Here's the 1-0. Just missed off the plate away with a sinker at 98 miles an hour. And the count is now 2 balls and no strikes. Ethan, you've missed a lot of game. But so far it's been pretty good. Now here's a 2-0 pitch. Up and away. A sinker well out of the zone. 97 miles an hour. And the count is 3 balls and no strikes. There's a runner on first with nobody out. It's a 3-0 count to the lefty Larnach. Coming set at the belt is O'Brien. He deals. And it goes out in front of play. And it goes back to the backstop. Gets away there from Pages. Luckily, the runner at first was already in motion there towards second. So he does not take any additional bases on the play. And O'Brien has himself with runners on first and second and nobody out in the bottom of the 9th inning. Here comes the lefty Gray. He's 0 for 1 today. Pages is out on the mound trying to settle down O'Brien. And the powwow has been broken up. Pages heads back behind the dish. Runners on first and second with nobody out, and the lefty Gray is in the box. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. Gray is 0 for 1 today, and O'Brien has thrown 10 pitches in this appearance. Coming set is O'Brien. Here's the first pitch to Gray. A sinker down and away, 96 miles an hour. It counts 1-0. If Gray reaches here, it will become a save situation. Coming set is O'Brien. Here's the 1-0. Strike slider, inner third above the knees. The count is 1-1. As the tying run will be at the plate. In fact, it may be already. I think the tying run only needs to be on the on-deck circle. Do correct me if I'm wrong. Coming set is O'Brien. The 1-1 to Gray. Fouled straight back on the sinker away. 97 miles an hour. And the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. So O'Brien has himself ahead in the count here on Gray. Runners on first and second with nobody out. Bottom of the 9th. 9-5 Cardinals. Coming set is O'Brien at the belt. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Bounces out in front of home plate. Blocked there by Pages. And the count is even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Oh, is that the dealio? All right, Sam. Thank you. Infield defense clearly shaded towards right with the lefty Gray at the plate. Modified for a potential double play. Coming sets O'Brien, the 2-2. Out and over the righty batter's box for a ball, and the count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So coming up will be 8, 9, and 1. Stepping off the rubber there is O'Brien. He has been having a great deal of trouble consistently finding the strike zone. The Twins have simply been taking what O'Brien is giving them. He comes set at the belt. Here's the 3-2. Up and away, a slider out of the zone, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. And the second baseman, the righty hitting Keishao. And there is a powwow out on the mound with the bench coach, who is now in command after the ejection of Ollie Marmol. However, the tying run is at the plate. Now, there's a great deal that the Cardinals would be willing to do here. They would have no issues with a sacrifice fly RBI. Obviously, they would love a double play that also can create a run with the cushion they have. But right now, with O'Brien not able to find the zone, and many times that leading to mistakes in the zone, Keishal, who is 1 for 3 today, it is on his shoulder at the moment for the Twins in the bottom of the ninth. Bases loaded, nobody out. It's a 9-5 Cardinal lead. The righty Keishal comes into the box. He's 1 for 3. It'll make it a righty-righty matchup. Coming set at the belt is O'Brien. Here's the first pitch. Foul tipped and down the third base side. Now to play on the sinker in. The count is 0-1 to Keishal. The tying run is at the plate. Bases loaded. It's a 9-5 game. Coming sets O'Brien. He deals. Check swing on the sweeper down the way. Did he go around? Yes, says the home plate umpire. Keishal could not hold his check swing, and the count is no balls, 2 strikes. O'Brien simply needs to keep him in the park at the very least. Here's the 0-2. A sweeper down and away, check swing, holding it is Keishal, and that will make the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. The bases are loaded with nobody out. It's a 9-5 Cardinal lead. I wasn't familiar with that, Robert, but that would be bothersome, to say the least. The infield is largely played back at double play depth. Burleson is not even bothering holding the runner at first, clearly. And the trainer's coming out to take a look at Pages. It looks like he got dinged somewhere on the top of his head, like around the nose. They're putting some kind of agent on the bridge of his nose. Maybe it got cut somehow. I'm not entirely sure. But that is the current delay at the moment. Thank you so much, KCM. Don't forget to like and subscribe, everybody. Almost 400 people listening and watching and joining into Bombers Game Mic right now. Oh, that's just awesome. Let's hope the Cardinals do their part. Coming set is O'Brien at the belt. Righty-righty matchup. It's a 1-2 count with the bases loaded, everybody out. Here's the pitch. A sinker down and away and in the dirt, 99 miles an hour. And the count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Coming set at the belt is O'Brien. Here's a 2-2. Called strike 3, outside corner for the first out of the inning. He catches Keishal in the observatory. And so now the bases are loaded with 1 out. And potentially, a potential double play ball could end this game right here. 21 pitches so far. Now here's the 9-hitter, the lefty Bell. Righty-lefty matchup with the bases loaded and 1 out. Here's the pitch to Bell. Fouled down the third base side, now to play on the sinker away. Count is no balls, 1 strike. Yes, indeed, Bob. 400. Oh, yeah. Let's go, Redbirds. Come set at the belt is O'Brien. The 0-1 to Bell. A sinker down and in for a ball. Clocked at 99 miles an hour. The count is 1-1. Coming set at the belt is O'Brien. The 1-1, well outside and over the righty batter's box. Hauling that one in very professionally there is Pedro Pages. He saved a wild pitch that would have turned this into a mere 3-run lead. It's a 2-1 count to Bell. O'Brien comes set at the belt. Here's a pitch. Hit to the right side, fielded there by the second baseman. He throws the second one, and they get the force, and the run scores. So that will be the second out of the inning. However, that makes it runners on first and third and it is a 9-6 game. So runners on first and third. They get the force at second for the second out. The runner comes home and scores from third. So Bell reaches on the fielder's choice. Now here comes Caratini, the left-hand hitting catcher. He is pinch hitting. Coming sets O'Brien, righty-lefty matchup. Here's the pitch. A sinker down and away, 98 miles an hour. And the count is 1 ball and no strikes. Back into the box is Caratini. Runners on first and third with 2 out. It's a 1-0 count. Coming set is O'Brien. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Foul down the third base side and out of play on a sinker away. And the count is 1-1. Yeah, Sam, I completely agree. He's sitting right there in the on-deck circle. You really don't want it to come to that. Back into the box is Caratini. Coming set is O'Brien. The 1-1 pitch. Strike, sinker in the inner third, thigh high. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runners on first and third with 2 out. It's a 9-6 Cardinal lead in the bottom of the ninth. And it's a 1-2 count to the lefty Caratini. Righty-lefty matchup. Coming set is O'Brien. Here's the 1-2 pitch. A sinker low. It had the plate, but it was only shin high. And the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. Makes me want a martini. Yeah. With plenty of olives. Coming sets O'Brien. Here's the 2-2. Down and in, a sinker clear out of the zone. And the count is full 3-2. The pinch hitter Caratini. Sitting on deck is Byron Buxton. Coming set at the belt is O'Brien. Now here's the 3-2. Fly ball out there to left field. Couple steps back is Newpar fighting the sun, camping under it. He makes the catch for the third and final out of the inning. 9-6 Cardinals over the Twins is your final. And now here's the victory tune. 9-6 Cardinals is your final. Feel free to play air guitar wherever you are listening. Thank you all so much for joining me here on this Saturday afternoon matinee. The Cardinals pull this one out 9-6. Tomorrow afternoon, the Sunday, is a matinee and the rubber match in this 3-game set. The finale up in Minnesota. So, a brief programming note. But before that, the pitcher of record, the winner, the winning pitcher is Fonson. He improves to 2-1. And Lawrence, he's the pitcher of record for the Twins. He falls to 0-3. So a brief programming note for tomorrow. Tomorrow's game is scheduled first pitch at Target Field at 1:10 p.m. Central Time. I will begin the Game Mike live play-by-play here at 1 p.m. Central Time. And yes, you better believe it, I'm going to go rest my voice every minute between now and then, to say the least. I think I might even take an oath of silence to let that happen. But I want to thank everybody so much for joining me here this afternoon on Game Mike and enjoying one of the old-fashioned radio audio-only calls here. This is going to be the dealio for most of this upcoming week. And before I know it, I'll be back in the studio calling Redbirds action in front of the camera. As I've mentioned before, as you saw today, the audio only, the only thing that's missing is me on camera. All the interaction with the chat, all of the graphics on screen, all of the audio, just not this very handsome mug in front of the lens. I'd like to thank you all so much. It really is an absolute pleasure. Brother Joe, I hope you are well. Take care of yourself. You too, Dwayne. Fire Phoenix, thanks, Paul. Get some rest. Feel better. I will do my best. Thank you. Ethan, let's go Cards. Cheers to that, Ethan. Richard Talley, thanks, Paul. You got it, my friend. KCM, thanks to Mrs. Game Mike for letting us steal you for the game call. KCM, I am most certainly going to be passing that along. John, thank you, Paul. You and Mrs. Game Mike enjoy whatever time you have together and have a good business meeting. Great to be with all of you today. You know, you're amazing, John. Everyone here is. DJ Nick Fly, thanks, Paul. Great job today. You got it, my friend. C. John, well done, Paulie D. Another great call. Thank you, C. John. David Hodge, cowbell play by double play. I like it. I do. Jojo Spades, thank you, Paulie D. Get well. I will do my best. Bob, I had fun, everyone. Y'all have a good day. You too, my friend. You too. Uncommon Truth Shaman. Wonderful ball call, sir. Hey, you make it worthwhile. Uncommon Truth Shaman. Another great YouTube handle. So, everybody, thank you so much for all of your kind words and spending part of your Saturday with me. I'll be back tomorrow. If you want to spend part of your Sunday with me as well, I'll be right here, audio only, live via New York City. Skyscrapers and everything. Thank you all so much. It's been a wonderful occasion. You really do help me get up, especially in a situation like today, which was quite challenging. I'll go take my oath of silence now. This has been a production of Bombers Game Mike. 9-6 Cardinals is your final. Tomorrow is the rubber match. The Game Mike live play-by-play stream will begin at 1 p.m. off the top Central Time. And first pitch is scheduled at Target Field for 1:10 p.m. Central Time, the rubber match. Thank you all so much. Be well. And to you and yours, wherever you may be listening. Bombers Game Mike, over and out.